announcing about how numbers are up in the month of April, like attendance-wise going to games.
Attendance is their highest in the month of April since 2008.
It's pretty interesting because that's kind of like right when baseball officially started to die.
Yeah.
It was about '08, at least in my opinion. Like after '01 and '02 when Bonds was doing his thing, then you had like that little lull of like baseball where it was still kind of hanging on by a thread. But then after about '08, like the NFL really kind of took 3 gears up. It was just kind of like no one's catching us now.
Yep.
And I think the reason for that is I kind of agree a little bit with this article, but I kind of have still some beef to pick with it because the marketing directors who they were talking to in this article,
Major League Baseball,
and she claims like the reason why she's seeing an uptick in baseball is because of the rule changing and the superstars that have been present at a young age. You talk about Fernando Tatis, we talked about Judge, we talked about Cruz, Bobby Witt Jr. is another one. And I think, the interesting point that you make is that you're saying that nowadays more kids and young adults are following more players than they are necessarily their own team.
Yeah.
Now, I will say that it was basically kind of like that when I was a kid. Now, I also am a kid who lived in a city where there was only football and baseball.
But you're also a product of growing up with an organization that wasn't worth a damn, and you really didn't have anything to root for from a baseball team standpoint.
And really neither one of them, because like in my mid-teens, the Chiefs were like putrid and terrible, and the Royals my whole life until about, 2003 they had that year, I think, when they had the whatever.
A couple games over 500, that was 11 years until they
and then I had to wait until 13 and 14, and by then I'm, on my way to college. And I thought the interesting thing is like, they have all these players, but they're still not pushing them. Like, and where I saw this article get really into it on Awful Announcing is that she starts describing as these players are growing up with like social media, and they really baseball is figuring out they don't need to push these players, because if these players are going to be popular, they're already popular before they get into the league because they've been followed at a younger age. Paul Skeens at LSU is an example that she brings up in an article. But it's also like you can still use this to push your product. Like, I mean, there's stories like this in football all the time that like, yeah, you may not like the Lions, but since you follow Jahmyr Gibbs on IG, you think he's funny and he has all these things, you start to root for that player. For me as a child, it was Ken Griffey Jr., but where the social media was then was on games, was on commercials, was on
Sports
promos, like they were showing them. And nowadays they're relying on their social media following, which we know baseball players aren't always the most eccentric guys. Even Paul Skeens, when he got interviewed, we played about the bobblehead. He's like, yeah, it's cool. Whatever, I saw it. It's like baseball still has to do more, and they can really push up and really compete because basketball's giving you that opportunity, and nobody's really kind of stepped in to be like, hey, you want to go toe-to-toe with the NFL. You're not going to win, but you can win in the months where the NFL doesn't exist. And right now, the draft has happened. The schedule release is on Wednesday the 14th, and then there's nothing until August. And that's kind of like where baseball can shine. And yes, the Field of Dreams games help. Yes, like superstars in this league help, but push those superstars. Put them on. The Royals are on Fox on Saturday against Baltimore.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah,
right?
but see, that's the difference between the NFL and everything else. Like, I was thinking about this yesterday. We've got to stop, like, everything to the NFL, right? The NFL is its own beast. It is over here in this category all by itself. How do we become the best of everything else, right? If you're baseball, how do you become the best secondary sport out there, the most popular secondary sport out there? And I really do think it's difficult for baseball for a couple of reasons. Number one, you're playing every single night. And number two, there's no national broadcasts really for Major League Baseball. You have Sunday Night Baseball on ESPN. I know where I am on Sunday nights. By the time Sunday night rolls around, you're getting ready for the week. You're done. You're moving on, and you're focused on the week ahead. You make your lunch. You get your homework done. You do all this kind of stuff, right? Everybody's kind of there on Sunday nights. That's their only national time slot where people can truly sit down and consume the game. The NFL's got national time slots all the time, and it's easy to push when you have that one day a week when it comes to the players. And so I've been like racking my brain for years now. We always say they don't push the players out there enough, but how can they do that in the situation that they are in? And I don't know what the right answer to that question is. If somehow you create a red zone channel to be the end-all be-all like the NFL has done, where people are watching that now over games, and then when they watch games, they go, these games are boring because I'm not used to having commercials and 2nd and 10 and things of that nature. So how does baseball capture that? I don't know that they do, but I think you just have to do that in your own market. And I think right now, I think Kansas City's pretty captivated by what Bobby Witt Jr. is doing right now, but I think it's also a wake-up call to understand that it's not necessarily about the team for the kids anymore. It's about the player. I mean, we don't have a basketball team here. All you see are Steph Curry jerseys all around. They identify with Steph Curry. You see Bobby Witt jerseys around all the time. You see Patrick Mahomes jerseys on every corner of the globe. They're not necessarily Chiefs fans. They're Patrick Mahomes fans. And when Mahomes leaves, they're probably not going to be Chiefs fans anymore because they were Patrick Mahomes fans. And that's kind of the way it goes. So how do you embrace that next wave of ways that kids today and people today are being fans, where they're just rooting for that individual player and not necessarily for that individual team? And that's something Major League Baseball and all the other sports, for that matter, kind of need to figure out. How do we embrace that? And look, I think they're doing a pretty good job of that. I think baseball's at an all-time high right now. They mentioned the attendance being good, the rules changes, the quickness of games, the excitement, the exciting players are here right now. I think baseball is kind of on a heater right now. The only thing that's going to kill it is a lockout at 27. And that's why you have to try to avoid that as much as possible, because you're riding a heater right now. The last thing you want to do in these last couple of years where things are going great in baseball is to lock this thing out and to shut this thing down, because then you will lose everybody at that point in time.
Yeah, and hopefully that doesn't happen. But I think, the other thing, too, that makes baseball interesting is that, like, you compare, like, you say, like, you can't be the NFL. Not everybody can be Chick-fil-A.
Right.
But you can go pick their brain on how they made their drive-through system work. Like, oh, we never thought about putting somebody out ahead of the actual screen to where you can order on a tablet and then just pull forward.
Right.
Like, you don't have to be them. Like, you don't have to try to find the perfect chicken sandwich. You're not going to. That's just them. That's their thing. But what you can do is take some of their, strategies and some of their tactics and kind of implicate them into your game, like the Field of Dreams game. Like, when it's home run derby, make the incentives a little bit sweeter. Like, I know you don't have a play-in tournament like the NBA tried to adopt something. Let's do a play-in tournament. The NFL doesn't have to do that because the NFL is week-by-week entertaining.
Yeah.
So when they get Thanksgiving and Christmas Day and Brazil and all these, that is their in-season stuff. But you could have a Field of Dreams game. You could have every superstar be in the home run derby, like Bobby Witt Jr., De La Cruz, Pete Alonso, Aaron Judge, and be like, hey, you win this, it's a $1.5 million check. Or something like that. Baseball has the money to do that.
Of course they do.
And you could have other little...
Is that enough money, though, for a guy like, let's just say, Bobby Witt Jr., who's signed a $300 million contract?
I mean, I don't know what the number is. I just know that you could make it sweet enough, because that's where you lost the dunk competition. Like, the players are like, I'm not doing that. And you see a guy from the G League win it in back-to-back years because there's not enough sweetness there for it.
Right.
Plus, they're already load management, so they're taking this as a time off anyway.
And baseball's the same way they've always looked at it. I get 3 days off, man.
Right, but the home run derby, yes, exhausting. We don't do it. It's something that we always hear afterwards, like, oh, I'm exhausted. It's like, yeah, but like, it's one night. You don't have to necessarily play the game if you don't want to. And if you do, you're playing 2 innings and you're done. You still get the next night. You've got the night before. It's not like that taxing, in my opinion, on the body for a baseball player. And everybody kind of fell in love with Bobby Witt Jr. last year outside of the metro area with his run at the home run derby.
That's exactly right.
And
yeah.
he became, I still believe to this day, he became a face in Major League Baseball last year because of that home run derby, and then what he did afterwards, where he hit magma hot level of heat and just went on that tear in July. And now all of a sudden, leading into it, we're riding a 19-game hitting streak. We're wrapping up this conversation where we start with Bobby Witt Jr., we end with Bobby Witt Jr., and now it's kind of up to baseball to be like, hey, if this is your guy and he's flashy and the mullet's cool and all the celebrations are fun on the bases, then push it. Come on and do it, because you didn't do it with Harper. You didn't do it with Trout. You kind of tried to do it with Tatis, and they did steroids. And now all of a sudden you kind of have this like player window where you could push Skeens, Cruz, and Witt and be like,
and the other thing that
it.
all three of those guys have in common, they all play in the eastern part of the country too. And it's a lot easier to promote stars when they're playing at 6 and 7 o'clock at night than 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock at night if you're Bobby Witt, or not Bobby Witt, Mike Trout, I mean, playing out in California. Hard to push those guys. Major League Baseball has 3 stars basically, east of the Mountain Time Zone, and Bobby Witt Jr., Ellie De La Cruz, and Aaron Judge. You have an opportunity to market those guys early in the evening
and
to a lot of the
and
Skeens pitchers in Pittsburgh. Exactly. So you've got the opportunity to market those guys from a TV standpoint as well. I just think until Major League Baseball figures out that way to embrace that national package where, like, Sunday Night Football, we're all glued to the TV set because it's, you want to see what's going on in Sunday Night Football. How does baseball do that at least one night of the week? I don't know if they pick a Wednesday and everybody's on a national platform on Wednesday night and there are no local broadcasts and every game starts at the same time, and or you have two windows like a noon and a 3, you have a 6 o'clock window and you have an 8 o'clock window in baseball where it's all on national television one night a week where you have to go there and they take you to this game and they treat it like an NFL day. Maybe that's what Major League Baseball needs to do and find that. Like, how on Wednesday nights do we make this baseball night in America, so to speak, and we're just going to have a national broadcast. We're going to have our pregame show. We're going to have all of our announcers at different places. We're going to go there. We're going to flip you to this game. We're going to flip you to that game. We're going to show you in-game highlights. That's something Major League Baseball needs to think about, and not do it on a Sunday night or a Saturday. Do it on a night when people are truly consuming television, and I think that's middle of the week.
And the crazy part about that is they have that, they do that, they don't do it enough, and it's the MLB at bat. Because they have it, but they do it on Monday night, and then they go right to regional coverage at 6. And it's like, not the whole game. We don't need the whole game. Like, just regional coverage of, like, all the games. Because they'll do it. Like, it's cool. They'll put, like, 4 pictures up, and they'll be like, all right, so-and-so's up to bat in this game. So-and-so's on the mound in this game. And you're kind of just everywhere. And then it's just gone. It's like, no, more of this, more of this. This isn't addicting yet. Like, I need more of it.
But
like,
I think the problem with that is that you still have all these other games on all these other channels.
Sure.
And so people are going to this store and that store and this store and that store. Let's create a Walmart and keep everything under one roof where it's a one-stop shop and everybody just goes to Walmart in every town. Right now, obviously, that's an extreme. But that's something like Major League Baseball needs to do. Control the broadcasts one night a week and dictate what everybody's going to see. And then you can truly market your players that way.
You definitely could. They definitely need to do it because they've got the absolute stud power surge in baseball right now if they could just push it. Coming up, none of the guys we talked about have a hot corner or a tough Tuesday. We'll get into 3 on the other side here on 96.5 The Fan, your home for Kansas City Sports.
You're listening to Fescoe and Dusty.
Hey, well, yo, man.
On your home for Kansas City Sports. 96.5 The Fan.
Well, if you're in Missouri, listen up because I've got great news for you. The Underdog app is now available in the state of Missouri. You can get on it right now. And Underdog just became one of the best places to make entries during the basketball playoffs with their Extender promo. With the Extender, you can play your way to increasingly bigger boosts each round of the playoffs. Start a playoff series by using a Game 1 boost and continue boosting each subsequent game to unlock the next one. The longer the series, the bigger the boosts. And the play, all you have to do is download the app and choose whether a player will go higher or lower on one of their stats. You can choose things like points, assists, and so much more. Or if you're like me, you can combine entries from multiple sports. You can have basketball entries and baseball entries in the same entry, and you can be on your way to success. And once your entry feels good, you can play with as little as $1. So if you get everything right, you could win up to 1,000 times your money. Download the Underdog app now and sign up with the promo code BOB to unlock a special offer of up to $1,000 in bonus cash when you make your first deposit with promo code BOB. Must be 18 and over and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. See assets.underdogfantasy.com/web/extend.html for details. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.ncpgambling.org.
Start your new chapter with a bang. Whether you're celebrating your upcoming graduation or getting hitched, Centerfire has a shooting experience for you. We're the only 5-star indoor shooting range in KC, and our staff will make your shooting experience one to remember. We have a bachelor party and a full auto experience that'll get your blood pumping. From new shooters to seasoned vets, our professional staff will create a one-of-a-kind experience for you. Visit centerfireshootingsports.com to book online or come in and try one on today.
Guys, let's talk about your prostate. If an enlarged prostate has you rushing to the nearest restroom, frustrated and uncomfortable because you need to go but can't, or it's keeping you up at night, it's time to fix it. Clarity Care offers prostate artery embolization. PAE is a simple office treatment that can shrink your prostate and relieve your symptoms so you can get back to enjoying life. No surgery, just relief. Call Clarity Care today or visit kcprostate.com.
Gain Super Flings are here to take your laundry to the next level.
Talking about Gain Super Flings. Super size laundry packs. These things are huge. Super fresh, super clean. Gain Super Flings.
Gain Super Flings laundry packs have 4 times the Oxy cleaning power and 3 times the Febreze freshness versus Gain Original Liquid.
Super fresh, super clean. Gain Super Flings.
Gain Super Flings for next level laundry.
This is a story of the one. As a maintenance specialist for university housing, he knows college students can major in wear and tear. Plus, housing so many students doesn't leave a lot of room to house all the supplies he needs. That's where Grainger comes in. With over 1 million industrial-grade products and fast, dependable delivery, Grainger carries the quality products he needs so he doesn't have to. From a new door hinge to a whole new faucet. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
What's up, baseball fans? It's time to swing big on your bets this season. Step up to the plate with an odds boost token from BetMGM, an official sports betting partner of Major League Baseball. No opt-in is required. Just log into your BetMGM account to receive your odds boost token. Then, place a bet on any MLB game and activate your token. If your boosted bet hits, you'll score a bigger payout. No matter the showdown, BetMGM is your betting home for baseball. Major League Baseball trademarks used with permission. BetMGM and GameSense remind you to play responsibly. See BetMGM.com for terms. Must be 21 years of age or older. This U.S. promotional offer not available in Mississippi, New York, Nevada, Ontario, or Puerto Rico. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Available in the U.S. For New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. For Arizona, call 1-800-NEXT-STEP. For Massachusetts, 1-800-327-5050. For Iowa, 1-800-BETS-OFF. For Puerto Rico, 1-800-981-0023. Subject to eligibility requirements. Rewards vary and expire in 1 to 7 days in partnership with Kansas Crossing Casino and Hotel.
Hey there, Royals fans. It's Royals Hall of Famer Mike Sweeney. Have you or your kids experienced a high school coach who wants to make our Kansas City community a better place to live, work, and play? The Royals and the See You in the Major Leagues Foundation, together with Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Kansas City, are shining a spotlight on 6 impactful coaches in the KC metro area. Nominate a high school coach today at royals.com/coaches with character.
Hey there, I'm Jack.
And I'm Stag.
We're just 2 deer that want to make sure you know it's deer season at your authorized John Deere dealer. The deer season that saves bucks. You know, like us.
Yeah, you can get $3,000 off select John Deere machines. No early wake-up calls or tree stands required.
Just a trip to your authorized dealer before June 2nd.
If you ask us, it's the only deer season worth celebrating.
Visit johndeere.com/deer season to find an authorized dealer and for complete finance details.
Brought to you by MVP. Only $39 for an AC tune-up. Book now at themvpkc.com. MVP Air Conditioning, Heating, Plumbing, and Electric is your home's MVP this spring and summer. Get a summer AC tune-up for just $39 and avoid costly repairs. 913-214-1212 or visit themvpkc.com. MVP. One call does it all.
Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Missouri side 70 westbound slows around 31st Street. Stays very heavy over past 27th Street with an accident blocking the right lane. Heading 49 northbound of Peculiar. Long delays approaching J Highway. They force you to exit there. You can get right back on, but construction keeping things slow for about 2 miles. Alan Carr, 96.5 The Fan. Traffic.
To our hot corner here in a second, but somebody who's not on a hot corner, someone who's on a very nice island of contracts, George Kittle. Signed a 4-year, $76 million extension with the San Francisco 49ers as of like 20 minutes ago.
Yeah, done.
Getting $40 million guaranteed. George Kittle paid. George Kittle now shows up to 49ers camps.
That's right, $40 million.
Your sources are wrong.
Wow.
Are they?
Yeah. I love that. Your sources are wrong, and then Taylor Lewan broke the story today, which I love even more because it makes all the insiders squirm a little bit, like the Schefflers of the world and the Ian Rappaports and whatnot. They're all squirming right now because Taylor Lewan broke the story. Kittle gets $35 million today in his bank account, minus taxes, and then $5 million more next year. That's how the $40 million bonus. I mean, it must be nice just to wake up in the morning with that kind of change in your pocket, man.
Be awesome.
You get the notification from your bank.
Yeah.
Deposit there. Oh.
Is this one of these scam texts that says I owe the Missouri Department of Labor money? Is anybody else getting those, by the way?
No, I'm getting Department of Revenue.
That's it, yeah.
At a, what is it? They have facial recognition of me at a, what do you call a toll booth?
Oh,
that I apparently went through.
Okay, so you got that too. Yeah, you're getting that too. Yeah, no, we're all getting that.
Have not
right?
been to a toll booth in 15 years.
Well, there's no tolls in the state of Missouri, first of all.
Exactly.
Not one toll in the entire state. So there's no chance that that's
Failure
happened.
to do so will be a suspension of your licensed vehicle and could serve jail time. Pay tomorrow or receive punishments.
Right.
Go F yourself.
That's right. Come find me. Seriously, come find me, right?
Delete and report to junk.
Right. Yeah, good Lord. So I think everybody's getting those texts right now from the Missouri Department of Revenue saying you owe them money. You don't owe anybody money. Don't respond to anything on your phone.
They will call you and leave you a voicemail, and it will not say scam likely.
Right.
Or they will send you a letter, and it will say from the Department of Revenue with a stamp on it.
It'll probably be one of those where you have to sign for at the door, certified mail or whatever they call that, so don't respond to your phone. Just don't. I don't care who's calling you. Just don't answer it right now. There's no reason to. There's no reason to respond to text message. It's all a scam, man. It really is.
My grandmother now. If it's important, they'll leave a message.
Right. Well, it's
Thanks,
true.
Drew.
Yeah. I've adopted that 30 years ago. I don't answer the door when people come over now. Obviously, man, showing up at 9:22 trying to schlep bugs or whatever he was doing the other day.
Till you get that, until you get that phone call of you don't want anybody else to hear it.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
This is Coach Mayfield of the baseball team just informed Dusty he's been cut.
Yeah.
Oh, you could have answered that one, Nana.
Yeah.
Everybody at the house knows.
Yeah.
Oh, it's okay. There's always next year. I'm a junior.
Yeah. We'll take care of this. So anyway, just ignore all those updates or whatever on your phone. Hey, real quick, shout out to our friend Kathy in San Diego, LA today. She's having hip surgery this morning out there in California. So I know she wants to be drinking tequila and pounding shots right about now and eating fish tacos and doing all kinds of cool things. But she's going in for her surgery today. She's the sweetest lady in the world. So I want to wish her good luck today. You want to talk about sisterly love. Her sister's flying out from New York to take care of her. My sister would walk across the street to take care of me. Neither would my wife's, but anyway. But you
wouldn't have made it at West Point either.
No, yeah, exactly right. But so shout out Kathy, man. Get better soon, and knock them dead with that rehab, kiddo. You got it.
Praise be. That is a tough Tuesday and a hot corner for Miss Kathy, but you'll power through it, no doubt about
she'll
it.
Be great.
Who's your hot corner on this Tuesday?
My hot corner is the Colorado Rockies as an organization. I didn't realize how bad they were.
They're going to Chicago.
They're worse than Chicago, right? You think the Chicago White Sox were bad last year? Oh, Colorado Rockies, hold my beer on this one. They are 4-24. The Colorado Rockies are right now. Okay, a loss today to Atlanta makes them 4-25, which would be the worst 29-game start in Major League Baseball history. Right now, they have the worst start in National League history dating back to 1901. 1901. That's how bad the Colorado Rockies are. We just had in the NFL draft what people are saying will be the last player born in the 1900s drafted. Tyler Sloth or whatever that guy's name is. Showboat, whatever his name is.
Shuck.
He's supposedly going to be the last player born in the 1900s drafted into the NFL. The Colorado Rockies are on pace to be the worst team in the NL since 1901. I mean, we're talking 124 years now that they're the worst team in baseball. They are on pace for 23 wins this year.
Love it. I'm rooting for it.
If I am too. If you are going to be bad, go down in a blaze, just like the Miami Heat. Go down in a blaze. If you are going to be bad, be historically bad. I think, if I'm not mistaken, the White Sox won 40 games last year.
Sure. I don't know.
Colorado's on pace to win basically half the amount of games that the White Sox won. And last year, the White Sox set the Major League record for worst season of all time.
Yeah, it's never good when your record is basically the same as the date of the month that you're in.
Yeah. 424, yeah.
Could be 425 by the end of the day. And technically, as of today, it's 429.
What was their record on the fourth day? I mean, it probably didn't have the 24 losses.
They
had the 4, I guarantee you that.
Oh, yeah.
But they've lost 7 in a row or whatever it's
Thank
been
God
right
the Royals
now.
swept them.
But that's the Royals beat the Rockies. They're 4-24. You ought to beat that team, right?
Yeah, sweep that team. I mean, they're 14 and a half games out of first place. That's not too bad. They just play against the Dodgers, Giants, Padres, Diamondbacks. Good luck.
Is that their next 3?
No, that's just their division.
Oh.
And then they're only 11 and a half out of the wild card.
Oh,
so
they got a chance. They got a chance. They can fix things. It's only a month, but 4-24. My God, on pace for 23 wins.
41 wins for the White Sox.
41 wins.
Year,
so basically half the amount of wins.
That's rough.
Let's go bet they're under on DraftKings. Speaking of 4, I think that's where this guy's going to end. LeBron James, tough Tuesday. Back-to-back years, you've been down 3-1 in a series. They went and gave you Luka Doncic. Right now, that Nico Harrison guy from Dallas is like, oh, Luka's not playing defense and their team's not winning? Loving this life right now.
Does that guy get any sort of like credit back if the Lakers do get knocked out in the first round?
Oh, they're getting knocked out. Like, they're going to get knocked out by Minnesota the next time they play.
Does he like Kermit with the tea if they get knocked out? Like, if you're Nico Harrison, don't you just tweet Kermit drinking tea?
No, it's still bad. It's still the worst sports trade in all time, but it makes it a little bit easier that he didn't win an NBA title, right?
What if he never wins an NBA title in LA?
I don't know. I mean, he could have won one in Dallas. He went last year as a 24-year-old.
Yeah.
He's been there a few months there. Yeah.
But I
LeBron's holding him down, you said?
No.
LeBron's been the best player on the team.
Is that what you said? LeBron's holding him back?
No, but I mean, Bron is 40.
Yeah.
He may not catch Kobe, who needs 5 to do that. He's only got 4. I say only, but he's got 4.
Yep.
This is kind of getting to the point where, like, you're running up against not other talent, you're running against Father Time. But I think the thing that's really kind of a mind F for me is that we're accepting failure but also respecting greatness. Like, it is a failure to LeBron that he didn't get to Kobe and LeBron and to Jordan. He's not going to get to either one of them probably. That's a failure in his mindset because he wanted to be the best champion in basketball. He's not going to happen. But also, like, we're watching this man at 40 still do what he's doing, and, like, my mind is like, he's not, like, capturing his goals, but he's the best basketball player that I've got to watch for their entire career. And at the same time, it's like, will this happen when Mahomes gets to like 5 Super Bowl titles, never gets to Brady, time catches up to him, and you're like, yeah, he failed in catching the greatest of all time in titles, but we just watched the greatest quarterback we've ever seen, and it just blows my mind.
Yeah, that's the thing. If he never catches Tom Brady, people are always going to have that but with Patrick Mahomes.
Same with LeBron.
Yeah,
same with Tiger and Jack.
Yeah, it is. It is really unfortunate, that we have that. But such is life, right? I mean, that's kind of where we reside now when it comes to sports. And that's why I really want Patrick Mahomes to beat the record that Tom Brady has with those 7 Super Bowls, because I just don't want that but hanging over Patrick Mahomes. I know that I'm watching a better athlete and a better quarterback than what Tom Brady was. But Tom Brady is the greatest winner of all time. Same can be said about Derek Jeter. May not be the best player of all time. Tremendous winner. Tremendous winner.
Hot corner for you?
I go Jalen Green, only 7 points last night, and last night's loss against Golden State.
They're
Supposed to be
probably
their
gonna
best
fire
player.
him.
So, yeah, they are going to trade him. They're going to reconfigure this roster, and he's going to be
Nico Harrison
shipped
taking
out.
over that team?
Guy hasn't gained a pound in 5 years in the NBA. Looks the exact same as he walked in.
An hour.
Yeah. Jalen Green, man. So
I've
what?
been pounded this week.
Oh, well, you did say that. I didn't. Dang, man. So Golden State up 3-1. They're going to move on.
They're going to move on. I'm not counting the Lakers out.
I'm not either.
They get 2 games in L.A.
Look, they're 5.5-point favorites, okay? They've got 2 games in L.A. The NBA needs the Lakers to be there. Nobody cares about Anthony Edwards. I mean, you can say all the stuff you want about him.
Jeez, man. It's just,
He's
come
the
on.
truth.
He is the new face of the league.
Maybe for you, but I'm talking about the casual basketball fan.
I think they would.
And the NBA, LeBron James drives people to the TV. Anthony Edwards just doesn't get me, the casual, less than casual fan, to pay attention. You may pay attention because you're a basketball fan, but he ain't moving the needle for guys like me and Maloney. I'm just being honest with you.
Fair enough.
And if you're not getting the ancillary people, you're not doing anything. You've already got the hardcore fan. How do you get the ancillary people in? LeBron James is a big part of that. I'm not counting the Lakers out. I'm not counting the NBA out. They fix things all the time.
What did you say
league.
last week? You like heels and we should embrace them? That's Anthony Edwards.
Yeah, but it's just not a needle mover, though. I mean, it just isn't. Like, LeBron's a needle mover. Kobe was a needle mover. Shaq's a needle mover. Those are the guys you tune in to watch. I just don't feel the casual fan is tuning in to watch Anthony Edwards. You don't walk around town and people say, wow, did you see what Anthony Edwards did last night? Now, in NBA fan circles, maybe you guys do, but I'm telling you, reality is people will watch LeBron. They will not watch Anthony Edwards. They will not casually tune in and go, I got to see what Anthony Edwards is going to do tonight. Oh, LeBron's still playing? Let me see what he's going to do.
I'm glad I don't hang out with those people because I'm ready to see Anthony Edwards just poster people every night. So what is he going to say to the crowd this night? What else is bigger than theirs? I don't know, but he got fined, what, $50,000 for it? Still not enough.
Slap on the wrist.
No doubt about it. Coming up on the other side, I have a theory as to why I don't know if necessarily the offense will be back to what it was in 2018 and 19, but maybe I'm wrong, and I hope that I am. 96.5 The Fan, your home for Kansas City sports.
You're listening to Fescoe and Dusty on your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5 The Fan.
I tell you, my friends over at Golden Oak Lending want to make your life a lot easier. They've helped us over the years refinance and take some cash out and pay off some credit card debt, pay off some home repairs, pay off whatever it is that we need to pay off. And I'm sure you're in that situation as well. You're thinking, boy, college tuition's coming due. Or maybe you've got a wedding to pay for that's coming up rather fast, and you're thinking, how am I going to do this? Well, my friends at Golden Oak can help you reach your financial goals. You just need to take that free mortgage checkup. There's no paperwork or credit card required. Call 913-890-GOLD and have a conversation with the folks at Golden Oak Lending. And when I say have a conversation, it's you telling them where you want to go in life and what you want to do. And at Golden Oak Lending, they listen to you and then try to find a mortgage that works for you. And if they can't find one that's better than what you're in right now, they'll let you know that as well. They're never going to put you in a mortgage that isn't as good or better than what you're currently in. And at Golden Oak Lending, the average cash out customer saves $1,104 per month. And when you refinance, you skip 2 mortgage payments. You can go all the way into the summer right now without having to make a mortgage payment. So take that free mortgage checkup, 913-890-GOLD, or just visit them at goldenoaklending.com. That's 913-890-GOLD, and let Golden Oak Lending cure your blues.
QC Kinetics provided amazing pain relief for a former professional baseball player, and you have access to the same life-changing treatments as retired Braves pitcher Jose Alvarez.
I put a lot of stress and strain and work on my right arm, but my right elbow took most of the damage with 3 surgeries.
Arthritis developed, and the pain was unbearable.
It wasn't just pain when I was trying to play sports. It was anytime I was moving the right elbow. It was pretty excruciating at times.
That's when Jose discovered QC Kinetics and the regenerative treatments that help the body heal itself, restoring damaged tissue and providing relief with no surgery or downtime. Jose's message to the medical professionals at QC Kinetics:
my elbow is feeling outstanding. Where were you 10 years ago, for crying out loud?
QC Kinetics is right here. Call for your complimentary consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 816-412-6299. That's 816-412-6299. QC Kinetics. 816-412-6299.
Are you in need of top-quality metal for your next project? Look no further than Metal by the Foot. Whether you're a DIY enthusiast, contractor, or business owner, Metal by the Foot has the perfect solution for you. Steel, aluminum, brass, and stainless. The Foot. Blue Demon Welding Supplies, filler rods, and wire. The Foot. Bronius Professional Welding Equipment, service and repairs. The Foot. Located in KC and Topeka. Online at metalbythefoot.com. When you need a piece of metal, remember, metal doesn't have to cost an arm or a leg, just the foot.
This is the story of the one who, as a maintenance specialist for a historic high-rise, knows that vintage charm historically needs constant attention. Which is why when it's time to upgrade turn-of-the-century mechanicals, they turn to Grainger. With easy access to 1 million-plus products and the scale to deliver when and where you need them. The right tools and supplies are never far away. So the one can keep that vintage building running like new. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
You ever try fixing your car and realize you're missing that one part? Yeah, been there. That's why eBay's my go-to. They've got millions of parts, guaranteed to fit. I'm talking brake pads for when yours have seen 1 too many miles of stop and go. Oil filters, cause you don't mess around with your engine care. Even got this cold air intake on my watch list. I might just go for it. To keep the ride cool and your DIY streak hot. Find all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. eBay. Things people love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
It's almost Andy Reid. The off-season is a perfect time for a $100 tune-up from Renner Garage Door. Get a free replacement quote today. Call or click rennerdoor.com. Renner forward and back.
RENNER. Royals coverage sponsored by Renner Garage Door, forward and back, RENNER.
Rob Site Ford, non-commissioned staff, low prices, best trade-ins, and the biggest selection. Visit robsite.com.
When it comes to buying a car, simple wins. Rob Site Ford has the inventory, the trade values, and the non-commissioned team that puts you first. No pressure, just 4.8 stars on Google for a reason. ROBSIGHT.com.
Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Missouri side and peculiar 49 northbound slows approaching J Highway for about a mile and a half. Construction forces you through the Service Road intersection. Heading at Lee Summit, US 50 westbound, so from 3rd Street up to 470. Alan Carr, 96.5 The Fan, traffic.
What's up, KC? This is Matt Quattrero. On your way home from the ballpark, make sure to listen to Vern's postgame show right here on 96.5 The Fan. I will not be listening.
96.5 The Fan, KFNC FM and AM, HD1 and HD2 Kansas City, an Odyssey sports station.
Time to play the game. Just want to spit water out. You see McAfee's promo last night in Kansas City? He's going to fight Gunther at Backlash.
That looked good.
It was good. He sold it pretty well.
Yeah. I saw your tweet and then I went and watched it. I was like, yeah, pretty good.
He gave his whole backstory. It's good. It's good promo. For those of you that are nerds like myself that tap in, Raw was in Kansas City last night, so I figured, let's see how electric that crowd is. See how many Mahomes jerseys we see. And, of course, right behind Michael Cole and Pat McAfee was a guy wearing a Mahomes jersey with a championship belt. I was like, knew it. Knew it. You're always going to find in your hometown the jerseys. KC shirts, all the, heart T-shirts, and then Mahomes jerseys are just everywhere.
What are the most popular Kansas City shirts? It's Mahomes jersey, obviously, right? The Kansas City heart shirt may trump the Mahomes jersey. Because people have multiple of those, right?
That's true.
People have the red, the blue, the green, all of the colors
and
of those heart shirts,
What do you call that? The Rat Pack of KC, like Sudeikis Rudd and Stone Street, they all wear those heart T-shirts everywhere.
Yeah, that's true. And you start to see, I don't know if you see them in your neck of the woods, the LS for Lee Summit. We got some OPs for Overland Park and things like that. Are you sure you haven't seen any LSs?
Nope.
You see any BS shirts walking around for Blue Springs?
Back in the day.
People had that over there, or INDEP, IND or something. Your Independence, or RY if you're in Raytown.
I always remember people wore the Long Beach State hats.
What was their mascot?
LB. And just a white hat. Because back when I was a kid, it was cool to wear collegiate hats that had funny mascots.
Oh yeah. South Carolina, we all had. I remember my first job. My boss got there were 3 guys working in there. Got us all the South Carolina hats, and Portland as well.
Because it didn't
Oregon
say
State.
game.
No, it did not.
They stopped it right after game and spelled the other word, and then it just said University of South Carolina in the most minute font.
Yeah.
Man, it's wieners.
I mean, they're selling them right now on Twitter. I'm getting served ads for those old school hats right now that you can buy. Oregon State was another one we had. Beavers. The Beaver. It's like when Greg Robinson wanted the team to play for the Beaver on defense, and had a stuffed beaver on the sidelines. That didn't work so good. Nice Beaver. But I think also, did Mac know that one? Did you?
No, he hasn't watched it yet. No. That starts in 2 days, by the way.
I was going to say, we're getting close.
Maybe you should start with Naked Gun.
Okay.
Yeah. Is that O.J. Simpson?
Norberg.
Yeah.
So you had a take last week, and I'd kind of been chewing on it for a little bit because I wanted to wait till after the draft. But you said that, and also Mahomes said he wants to get back to it, the high-flying explosion of an offense.
Yeah.
I don't know if I believe that. I don't know because of how special it was. I wonder if, and I use this comparison the way that you use the NFL. That was an historic offense.
No doubt.
That was up there with that 07 Patriots. It was up there with that, 2012 Denver offense, whatever it was when they had all those numbers.
Yeah,
and
Manning had the 50 touchdowns. Yeah. Before his neck fell off.
Yeah. I would love to see that, but the offseason lets me know that the Chiefs have found a system and it's not that. The reason I also bring this up is yes, you've lost 91 catches in Hopkins, P. Ryan, and Watson. Those 3 guys are gone, and they had 91 catches last year. Worthy had 59 and close to 700 yards. Dusty, Rashee Rice, and Hollywood Brown are going to play the entire year. Well, one's going to be suspended for a little bit if you didn't know. And they're going to have those guys back. Okay, so what does Worthy do? Because if Worthy's going to have this, if you're going to have this, averaging 33 points a game, 29.5 points a game, everybody's going to have huge numbers. That's just the way that goes. But 91 catches between Hopkins, P. Ryan, and Watson is going to be divided through. I still think Kelsey's going to get his.
Watson,
yes! He led the team in receiving yards last year.
Kelsey will have 90 catches again.
And 800 yards.
Right.
I don't know if he'll have 90, but they're going to try to keep giving him the ball. This is his swan song that we've been told.
And until you can truly stop Travis Kelsey, you're going to continue to give him the ball.
But instead of maybe trying to go find that offense again that maybe we never see again because of how great it really was, maybe they've like found something in the NFL that they have that they don't necessarily need that. And, you know, we talk about smoke screens around the draft. Like, yes, as a fan of football, I would love every game if it was 35-21 and the Chiefs were winning because there's nonstop action. There's maybe a little bit of, you know, biting the fingernails and the Chiefs take off like they used to, like the Golden State Warriors did. That Warriors offense lasted 3 years. And then it was never, you didn't see that again. And we have yet to see that style of offense because of how historic and how quickly it can be dissipated throughout the future of the game. So I don't necessarily know if they're going to have that, oh, there's once a game, the home run ball, and they're throwing the ball over the field, because they brought back Hunt, they brought back Pacheco, they didn't draft a running back to the 7th round. Mm-hmm. And that guy's probably going to be a return specialist or like maybe a few little gadget plays as well. But they're going to run the ball on short yardage. They're going to move the chains, and they're going to score, and they're going to play defense. That's exactly what this team is built for. That's what they drafted. That's what they patched up was defensive line. They went and got an offensive lineman that may or may not play this year. They've shown you where they've gone in the offseason with signings and bring back players. I just don't see a high-powered offense when I see this team. I see a team that has found something in the NFL that they know they can win by, because last year they weren't the most talented team. They won 15 games.
Yeah, they're a really good football team, and they know how to win, and that goes back to the Derek Jeter kind of conversation. He may not be the best player of all time, but he's one of the greatest winners of all time, and obviously Patrick Mahomes is as well. He'll probably go down as the greatest of all time, maybe not the greatest winner of all time because of Tom Brady standing in the way, but I'm not going to put any limitations on what they want to do, and I think the reason we have seen the lack of offense, and again, when you come out in 2018 and do what you did, you've set the bar very high. Now that's the expectation. They're never going to live up. Patrick Mahomes is never going to have a season like he did in 2018 with 5,050 unless we go to an 18-game schedule, right? Like that's the next way that Patrick Mahomes takes that game to the next level, because it was so impossible to do and the numbers were eye-popping, right? We can't expect 2018, but can you expect 2020? Can you expect 2019, 2021, that type of offense? And I think that's ultimately what they want to get back to, but it all starts along that offensive line. They really haven't been that star-studded offensive team where they're putting up points at will since Eric Fisher walked out the door. And since they've really had questions every other year, it seems like, at left tackle, or every year at left tackle, you get that left tackle spot solidified. It's one less thing you have to worry about. Then it gives time for your receivers to get down the field. That's why I think the offense has been held back for the last couple of years, because that offensive line just hasn't been to that level that we want it to be. Hopefully, they have solved that left tackle position, and Patrick Mahomes can get out there and feel comfortable and allow guys to run those deep routes. And if those guys are getting, open deep, that's going to open it up for Travis Kelce. You can get the offense moving in that direction. And as far as the 7th-round running back, I'm not going to put limitations on that guy, because we didn't know what we had when they drafted Isaiah Pacheco in the 7th round. It's turned out to be a household name, not just in Kansas City, but I think in the NFL. And so I think if you're in this offense and they believe that you can play in this offense, they're going to utilize you. And it doesn't matter if you're a 7th or a 1st-round pick. They're looking for the best possible players out there that can give you the opportunity to open things up on offense. And that's what they're going to do. Their whole goal is to get back to where they were in the early days of Patrick Mahomes, to have the swan song for Travis Kelce, to go out having some fun, and to light the world on fire. And I've never been one to tell Patrick Mahomes no, right? Because every time you tell Patrick Mahomes no, he double birds you and goes out there and does things you've never seen before. And that's part of the reason why I'm excited for this season as well, because it is that last song. It is that final senior year. It is American Pie for the Kansas City Chiefs, essentially. And let's go and see what happens and have the greatest year of our lives, or the greatest summer of our lives. And they're going to go out, they're going to give 0 Fs, and they're going to have themselves the time of their lives. At least the 2 of them are. And you get everybody else involved too. I think it's going to be a fun year to watch this team play.
No doubt. It could be a more fun year for the Royals if they go be bold, is what Bob Fescoe wants them to do. He'll explain on the other side on 96.5 The Fan, your home for Kansas City Sports.
Hey, it's Vinny Pasquantino, and you're listening to Fescoe and Dusty on your home for Royals baseball. 96.5 The Fan.
Well, I'll tell you what, guys, ED is a terrible condition. We all know that, right? It causes stresses in relationships. It creates anxiety and undue hardships on a man, and often on their partner as well. Yet many men suffer for years without seeking treatment. ED is an intimacy destroyer. The good news is Heartland Men's Health is here, and they have treatments that work when the pills or herbals fail. They have treatments with success rates well over 90%, and some treatments can even have you last an hour or more. Heartland Men's Health is successfully treating men right here in KC. So schedule a consult with Heartland Men's Health today. Your initial visit is just $99 and includes a medical consult with a licensed medical provider provider, a T and PSA test, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. They have an expert staff, and if you're like a lot of men, you could be having sex the day after your appointment. They have 3 locations to serve you: Overland Park, Independence between Blue Springs and Lee Summit, and their new office in North Kansas City. So call them today, 844-447-6600, or visit heartlandmenshealth.com.
At Busey Bank and Cross First Bank, we're partnering together to help make your goals become lasting legacies. Through bespoke plans that maximize your wealth and partnerships that give you peace of mind. Because building wealth, tending to it, and passing it down secures a brighter future. Together, we're building extraordinary impact in business, wealth, and community. Busey Bank and Cross First Bank. Member FDIC.
One of life's greatest mysteries has finally been solved.
Who let the dogs out? Spruce, spruce, spruce.
It's Spruce, the new hard-working, worry-free weed and grass killer that's safe for use around people and pets. When used as directed, spray the leaves for visible results in just 1 hour and dead weeds in just 1 day. You spray, they play. Weeds die by the next day. Find Spruce wherever weed killers are sold.
I'm Bob Burke, founder and chairman of Burke America Parts Group, a family of brands that includes RepairClinic.com, an appliance and HVAC parts solution company that's grown into an international brand. Before AmericanEagle.com, we partially launched a new technology platform developed by another firm. American Eagle helped take our technology to a whole new level with digital marketing, software development, and business insights into our key markets, appliances, HVAC, and outdoor power equipment, and did so both on time and on budget. AmericanEagle.com has the resources, experience, and talent needed to produce solutions. Our new technology platform, developed by AmericanEagle.com, has produced tremendous results with higher traffic, conversion, engagement, and online revenue. If you have any home repairs you need to take care of, check us out at RepairClinic.com. If you need a world-class website or technology project, then I would highly recommend AmericanEagle.com.
Call AmericanEagle.com at 773-NETWORK. That's AmericanEagle.com, 773-NETWORK.
This is the story of the one who, as a maintenance specialist for a historic high-rise, knows that vintage charm historically needs constant attention. Which is why when it's time to upgrade turn-of-the-century mechanicals, they turn to Grainger. With easy access to 1 million-plus products and the scale to deliver when and where you need them. The right tools and supplies are never far away. So the one can keep that vintage building running like new. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
All power, zero compromise. Ego cordless outdoor power equipment features advanced lithium battery technology that exceeds the power and performance of gas without the noise, fuss, or fumes. From blowers and trimmers to mowers and pressure washers, one battery powers over 90 tools. No wonder it is the #1 rated brand in cordless outdoor power. Power beyond belief. Visit EgoPowerPlus.com to learn more or to find an Ego retailer near you. That's EgoPowerPlus.com.
Call Aspen Lawn and Pest Control. Our iconic blue trucks and expert team get it right the first time. Award-winning full-service lawn care and pest control since 1985. Call today for a free estimate. Visit aspenlawn.com.
Hi, Drew and Jonathan Scott here, reminding you that a lot of life's firsts are better with help from American Family Insurance. Like your first home expansion or your first big lightning strike. There's a first for everything. Get the right home policy at the right price with the right help from American Family's agents. Life's better when you're under American Family's roof. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. American Family Mutual Insurance Company SI and its operating company 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Rawhide Harley's dedicated team of finance experts are ready to get you approved. Credit so bad your mama won't lend you money?
I love you, dear, but hell to the no.
Then let the Credit Rebuilders of Kansas get you approved at Rawhide Harley. 100% of all credit applications considered. See rawhideharley.com.
On approved credit.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the Mission Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling Studios. Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
On the Missouri side, I-70 westbound, new trouble past 18th Street. Accident blocks the left lane. Heavy from around 27th Street and building delays now. Lee Summit, US 50 westbound, slow from 291 south up to 470. 71 northbound, slow from 87th up to Gregory. Alan Carr, 96.5 The Fan, traffic.
Diving into it on a Tuesday, it's a really good day if you're Mac or Bob, for obvious reasons. So I'll go play golf.
I just want to win, Jen.
No doubt about it. You are going to win today. I have full faith in you for that. The Royals, speaking of winning, they will play the Tampa Bay Rays tonight at 6:05. That means Vern's On Deck show starts at 5 o'clock. The sophomore album continues to roll through as they go play Tampa Bay. Michael Lorenzen, or Jared Lorenzen, whatever you want to call him. Michael Lorenzen, he gets the start tonight, 6:05, Tampa Bay, Kansas City. Bobby Witt Jr.'s 19-game hit streak on the line.
Who's pitching for Tampa, did you say?
Never heard of him.
Yeah, exactly. Never heard of him.
Yeah.
Some guy that used to teach industrial arts at the high school or something like that.
Nah, he's probably like a stud. We're going to look like a bunch of clowns.
Well, yeah.
But let's see.
Somebody
here.
we've never seen against the Royals. Yeah, no runs and one hit. I mean, that's just the way it goes, right? That's baseball, as they like to say.
It is Taj Bradley.
Oh, I don't. Is he really Milton?
2-1. Yeah, 2-1, 5.08 ERA, 138 WHIP, 27 strikeouts, 12 walks.
So you ought to pound that guy.
I've been pounded this week.
No doubt. I could even hold in the laugh. Speaking of pounding, you want this Royals team to pound the the trade market.
I do. Vern said something yesterday kind of in passing, and he said, we were talking about guys you could acquire, and Vern says, I don't know, eat some money maybe. And I was like, oh, okay, that's kind of an interesting approach to be in a trade. If you're not going to have the players available, be willing to eat more of the money that the team or the player has remaining on his contract. And Nolan Arenado is a guy right now that is kind of available, right? He was available all offseason to be traded.
Business with St. Louis.
Well, I think when you have a good player, but it has nothing to do with the Cardinals. They're a bad team. Nobody's going. They're a hockey town without a football team. Quite honestly, if it just fell into the river and washed away, I wouldn't lose any sleep over St. Louis. Take their Provel cheese with them and shove it up their ass. But so Nolan Arenado, I'm trying to do this guy a favor and getting him over to the right side of the state here. He's got 2 years left on his contract after this year, kind of available right now. Dude's hitting 255, which would be the second best batter in the lineup right now. Hall of Famer in 2025 baseball, hitting 225. Well, he's not a full-time guy yet, right? So until he gets a full-time. But like as Vern said yesterday, go eat some salary. And Nolan Arenado is that guy because he feels a need too, right? You kind of need a third baseman right now. How much better would your lineup be if you had him as your everyday third baseman? Then you could focus Jonathan India on playing left field, or maybe you just move him to second base and then put, Maikel Garcia out in left field. Like, it creates not only options for you, it creates some good options for you and makes you better at a position that you're currently not so great at. And I'm talking about third base. We need some help over there, that hot corner, as they like to say. Acquiring a guy like they did in 2014, like Ty Willingham, like that doesn't cut the mustard right now for this team. I loved Vern's comment yesterday about, I don't know, eat some salary maybe, and that's the way you're going to get guys. You got to be bold in this situation. And the other thing that Vern kind of talked about yesterday that has me thinking Nolan Arenado is the right fit is like, we got a pretty good rotation going on right now, right? I mean, these guys are top notch. You're not going to get a rotation that pitches this well. You have to try to maximize what this rotation is doing right now. As we've been saying for the last couple of weeks, World Series rotation, minor league lineup. You go out there and make a bold move, get Nolan Arenado, be willing to eat the last 2 years of his contract. And again, I don't care about the contract prices for players in professional sports. If teams make moves, they can do it. It's not my concern. I don't know why fans concern themselves with salaries and if they can afford guys or not. You go out there and you make that move. Fans will be excited about it. The interest will be at a higher level than it is right now, and you're positioning your team to really challenge for the postseason, and you're not wasting this pitching right now. And with 2027 becoming a year that a lot of people are saying could be a lockout, could be a washed year, why not go balls to the wall and go for it right now and do something bold, do something like the Royals have never really done before, and that's go out and get a superstar player before or at the trade deadline.
Yeah, I mean, that's always the wish, right? And then, like you said, Ty Willingham seems to be the guy. Like, last year you lost all those arms and those bats, and you went and got, Gurriel and Tommy Pham and guys like that that were just kind of like, all together were one, but all did one certain thing better, and they could just use them strategically with the Royals lineup. Like, I'm all for that. Obviously, it's really early.
Sure it is.
So, there's always one team that kind of bucks the trend and gets somebody way too early or starts the trade, before everybody else does. Normally, it's New York or it's the Giants or somebody like that that goes and gets somebody to just you wouldn't think would be like a name that goes to that team. Arenado's interesting. The Cardinals are interesting because obviously Mozeliak is, I think, stepping down after this year.
That was my next point. They got a new GM taking over right now.
And Arenado was unhappy because they didn't make any moves in the offseason. They let Goldschmidt walk. They were done with him. He's now tearing it up in New York. Arenado, they didn't add anything
like to play
him.
in New York. You're playing in St. Louis versus New York. Of course you're going to play better. It's a better place.
Take that Provel cheese and shove it up your ass.
Yeah, exactly.
Kind of like Provel cheese.
I know, it's pretty good.
But like
it's a suppository.
But like the thing the Royals need is what I go back to Vern last year is the toughest thing to acquire, which kind of feeds to your theory. If they do this, it'd be nuts.
Do.
But what does fit them that's against everything at the trade deadline is they have the hardest things to acquire. They have a bullpen and they have a starting rotation. So they don't have to worry about any of that. Now, in order to go get something, you have to give up something of value, right?
Which is why I think you probably got to eat salary because there ain't much to give up in the minor league system right now for the Royals.
And people are going to be funny and cute and say, well, what do you want for Cags? Like, not a chance.
Of course, every team should be calling and saying, hey, we want Cags. What are you willing to have back in return? You know?
And there's guys like Crosses down there as well and, other names that could be somebody that they could move. But they do have, when it comes to acquiring something, they do kind of have the easier thing to go get, and that is a bat. Like arms are
hard
to find at the trade deadline because people don't want to give them up because at the end of the day, it's always like we need pitching to get there. The Royals are showing that they have the pitching to get there. They just have nothing on offense. And I don't even know if it would take somebody like an Arenado or a Willingham, like you had mentioned before.
Well, no, Ty Willingham was that guy they got in 14 and was like a pinch hit guy. In
Josh Willingham?
Josh Willingham, yeah whatever his name was.
No, yeah. And
that, I don't want that. That's not making a move.
No, yeah, I get that. But, like, you've also got to, like, wait and see, too, to see what teams are falling out of it. Like, what's Pittsburgh going to do? Like, is that team going to blow it up? Because
is O'Neal Cruz available? Can we go get him?
I mean,
I would trade Cags for him right now because that guy's proven at the big league level.
Yeah, I'd probably that would haunt my dreams. But yeah, it would be something like that. So I mean, I think that's kind of where it's at. Where like if you look at this Royals roster, like it's a blessing and a curse at the same time because you're realizing what you're going to need to take that next step, but you're also seeing what you have to make that next step as you go back to World Series rotation, minor league, lineup, and you have the superstar. You got to think Sal's gotten his way out of it after that doubleheader.
It feels like it, yeah.
He's kind of starting to come back. So you have that. But, the biggest problem is like you have that guy, Vinny, who's not hitting. And, yeah, I assume that Mark Canha will eventually come down to earth and not hit 337. He'll hit up like, 260, 265. But, you bring in a third baseman like Arenado, like I think that's where Michael Garcia plays. And I think you put India at second, and then your outfield – you have Cannon left, Isbell in center, and then right field's going to be one night it's going to be Renfroe, the other night it's going to be somebody else, and that's just the way it's going to go. But like until
how much longer can you keep running Massey out there?
He's got too many options, and I don't think that he's going to be up here if he keeps hitting the way he is.
Right.
He's going to get sent down. But that's where I think you see the shift of because seeing India play left field, I don't like that as much as I think I should. And then you put him at second, you put Garcia at third, and then you run that platoon of an outfield with Waters in right or Waters in center and Isbell in right and Canha in left. And that's what it is until either A, somebody gets called up, or B, Sherman's like, all right, JJ, I've got a check. I've got a budget. It should fit these four players. Let's go get one of them. If one of them is Arenado, then yeah, that's fine. That's a veteran leader at that lineup position that can also play third base, and it makes your obviously your team deeper, your lineup better.
Huge.
So yeah, difference. I mean, like I'd be interested in that because you're seeing what's going on with your team right now. You have the pitching. You have a top 5 rotation, top 2 in the American League. And you have the bottom 2 in lineup. So you got to be better than the Rockies, and you got to be better than the White Sox. And that's right now the competition you're in. One is the worst team that we've ever seen last year, and the other one is trending to be one of the worst teams we've ever seen in the history of the game.
In the history of the game. Yeah, they're on pace for 23 wins out in Colorado. And so that's kind of where the Royals are. And they're still floating under 500 at this point in time, right? As we get ready to flip that calendar, you kind of know where you are. I don't think it's any secret that the Royals right now are void of a bat. Again, a lot of teams in baseball are void of bats. It's not a really good year when it comes to hitting in Major League Baseball. But if there's a bat available, even at a 255 clip like Nolan Arenado, and he's got 2 more years on his contract, you got a major need at third base. That's a guy you go out there and get. And if you were to send Massey down, who's coming up? Lofton? And does Lofton really move the needle and make you that much better at the big league level? I don't know the answer to that question. So I think the help, the reinforcements have to come from outside the organization, and getting a Josh Willingham or some slappy that you never heard of, that's not making a move. That doesn't count. Making a move is going out and getting a legitimate player like they did when they got Johnny Cueto, or they did when they got Ben Zobrist. We've got a window here in Kansas City. You got to capitalize on that. The first 30 games are done. You know what your team is about. The next 30 to 40 games will be spent evaluating some of these other teams and where they're at, and figuring out how you can get yourself better. And hopefully a month from now, we're starting to talk about teams that are out of it, teams that we can poach players from, guys that may be available at the trade deadline, and the Royals start kind of getting moving in that direction. And hopefully they tread water for that next month as well, too, and the starting pitching keeps them in games where they don't have to go out and score a lot to win.
Max, little side note is that Arenado has a no-trade clause.
He does, but he was willing to waive that this offseason.
Yeah.
He was. He had a list of teams, yes.
Yeah, he was willing to waive that this offseason, and I'm sure
Yankees, Dodgers, Giants.
Yep, so
Mets.
that's it.
Yeah.
Of course it is.
Yeah, like
Padres, Red Sox.
Where he wants to or does not want to go
Where
to.
he will go.
List of teams that he would go to.
He would, because I think the Yankees wanted him, and I don't think he would waive his. I don't think he was waiving his no trade clause for the Yankees this offseason. So it just depends what the player wants to do. You're in a situation like St. Louis; they're not winning games. You got a chance to go to a winner and be part of something good and play next to Bobby Witt Jr. You're probably going to waive that no trade clause if Kansas City's on that list.
Yeah.
One word.
First name is Blake, and he goes on a cruise. He goes on a Caribbean cruise.
Katie Holmes.
No. Ah!
Are you listening?
What's your least favorite thing about working with yourself?
Body odor. You get one word.
On the count of three, name your favorite dinosaur. 1, 2, 3. Velociraptor.
This is One Word on Fescoe and Dusty.
One word on the Royals tonight against the Tampa Bay Rays.
Win.
Win.
Just win, baby.
I just want to win, Jen.
Well, you're playing Tampa. I mean,
just
there's not a
wanna
lot
win,
of
Jen.
excitement in that. It's at a minor league ballpark. Take care of business.
Are they going to? How much? When are they moving?
Next year.
Okay.
Well, I mean, I saw like Orlando's now coming to the plate with $1.5 billion to build the stadium. John Sherman, you listen? Kansas and Missouri can't figure this thing out. Orlando's coming to the place with $1.5 billion of money down there, plus the $1 billion that John's willing to kick in. There's $2.5 billion to move this thing to Orlando right now. That's a lot of money.
A lot of money.
It's a lot of money. I mean, look what happened in D.C. yesterday. They got their stadium deal done.
Yep.
Teams are the Bears are getting ready to sue to get out of their lease so they can move to a new stadium. And now you got Orlando putting up $1.5 billion of money saying, we're ready for a baseball team. John Sherman's pledged $1 billion for the Royal Stadium himself. And so you combine that, that's a baseball stadium in Orlando. We'll see what happmes.
Damn.
Mirror image is 2 words, but that is what you're playing tonight. Tampa Bay 14-14 on the season. They have similar numbers. They're obviously better on the offensive side, but their pitching is still kind of the same. They're 6th, 7th in ranks when it comes to hits, earned run average. 14-14, Tampa Bay 3rd in the AL East. Kansas City 14-15, 3rd in the AL Central. You're playing yourself, but you're playing them in a minor league ballpark. You needed to break out of this slump of this offense. So, yeah, I mean, I'm ready for it. Let's see what happens. But yeah, you're playing a mirror image of yourself.
Yep, keep the hot streak alive. One word on Eric Spoelstra last night. The Miami Heat got swept by the Cavaliers. It was an absolute clinic. They were down by 50 points at halftime.
60, I thought, at 1.2, right?
They got down to 66 or so. It was abysmal. It was an atrocity. It was an embarrassment to the game of basketball.
What channel was that on?
TNT.
Yeah, TNT. James Naismith was rolling around. One word on Eric Spoelstra after getting swept. This is what he has to say. Only his 3rd time in his long career getting swept.
But damn, it was humbling. This series was humbling. These last 2 games were embarrassing. But Cleveland's also a very good team. We won whatever we won. They won 65. We're as irrational as we usually are, thinking that we have a chance to win this series. And they showed us why, we weren't ready,
Refreshing. It's good to hear truth in sports. We'll get to another truth bomb here in a second. But I like it when folks tell the truth as opposed to try to sugarcoat something. They got their ass kicked in that series.
Vacation.
yeah, Cancun.
Hearing that response, that dude's ready
Galveston.
to just, get out of there, man. Like, Get out of Miami. Get out of South Beach. Go to Aruba, Jamaica, wherever you want to take you. Get on vacation because that's a guy that, like you said, humbling. That's a knockout punch, man.
It was, man.
That's a street fight where you think you got the guy, your girlfriend's there watching, you get knocked out on one hit. It's like, what do we do from here? Like
that dude on the golf course the other day got beat up in front of his wife,
Better pick up the pace of play, Randy.
I mean, I like it. It doesn't change the way that I feel about Eric Spoelstra. He will never be in that same category as a Pop or a Pat Riley, but should be. He's a great
amazing.
coach.
Yeah, great leader.
He's unbelievable. And I'm not just talking the NBA. I'm talking sports in general. This is one of the best coaches in professional sports. His team was, you dealt with that Jimmy Butler crap all year long. So I'm sure they're glad just to go to Galveston now and be done with this thing.
Yeah, he's done more with less over the last few years. It finally came to the point where it was done, and they needed some roster reconstruction.
It's fine, and it happens,
Yeah, it happens. I'm excited to see what they do.
I feel like he's like the McVay of the NBA. Like, he's not young as you think, obviously. Like, McVay's, like, not even 40
But when
yet.
he came on the scene, he was.
Yeah, and he won, and he had a system, and he had a believable, like, way of himself.
Yeah,
and then we
that.
always talk about, like, Popovich and, all these other older coaches in the league. You're like, here's this young dude that does it differently and is successful at it, but let's just not talk about it.
Well, but here's the difference in all that. It's very much Andy Reid, Brett Veach. He's working with Pat Riley, right? Pat Riley's going to get all the credit in the world for that. Oh, Pat Riley did this, Pat Riley, constantly under Pat Riley's shadow. Same thing, Andy Reid. Meanwhile, you got Brett Veach doing all this stuff, but he's under Andy Reid's shadow because they're two of the greatest that have ever done their jobs that are running these organizations now.
And he's got to win without LeBron. He's been to the finals, but he's not won without him. But one word on, sticking in the NBA, one word on Charles Barkley. This was from not last night, 2 nights ago, following what was a rather, well, you'll hear it.
And 2 of them have been by the Indiana Pacers over Milwaukee.
Sleepy baby.
Yeah.
Sleep nights, man.
I'm bored, brother. I ain't gonna even lie. That wasn't even worth watching.
That was after the Pacers-Bucks game, where the Pacers dropped the Bucks.
I'll use the same term, refreshing, to hear that, because it's good when an analyst is honest with the listeners. If a game isn't good, don't try to make it a good game. If the team isn't playing good, don't tell me about their hard hit rate and their exit velo. Like, you're insulting the intelligence of fans. Fans are smart. They know. You don't need Charles Barkley up there on set trying to, polish a turd. A game's bad. It's okay to admit that. Fans aren't stupid. They understand what they're watching. I just don't like when broadcasters try to insult the intelligence of the fans. Like, this is really good. They're 7-21, Steve.
It's informative. It lets us know that you don't need a 7-game series in the first round.
Yes, then that's another great point, Dusty.
Go back to 5 in this round. This is
every one of these 3-1?
It'd be like adding
No,
another.
not everyone.
Not all of them. There's
Tonight is Clippers Nuggets is 2-2.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is that the only one?
Yeah, I think that may be.
Because everyone I've seen 3-1, 3-1, 3-1.
Which is crazy because they're great. Like Pistons Knicks is a great 3-1 last night. Warriors Rock, great 3-1. But it's just 3-1.
Both 1 seeds swept their competition.
Yep.
They both went 4 games. 1 seed Oklahoma City, done. The 1 seed Cleveland Cavaliers, done.
Are they debating now, is there too much rest between the first and second rounds?
We do this every year.
I know,
it's
it's
rest or
rinse, repeat. Yeah.
Of course.
No, I think it's informative. Go back to 5 games in the first round.
I agree.
Yeah.
I think it's harder to win a 5-game series, too. I think it'd be more intense. It'd be fun. One word on Bill Simmons yesterday in his podcast came out with Ryan Russillo. He said, I don't know if you're not having fun watching Steph Curry, who's having Steph Curry nights, I don't know what you're doing.
Are there people that
it's
don't like
eating a piece
Steph
of candy.
Curry?
I don't know if it's eating a piece of candy.
It's like chocolate cake. It's like apple pie.
Exactly.
Warm apple pie a la mode style.
Just tell your mother we ate it all.
Exactly. Who doesn't like watching Steph? Again, like, I'm not an NBA fan, but
I don't know, man. But I'm sure there's haters out there. You saw that one commenter on Twitter, I don't like Steph Curry. I'm butthurt.
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It was some Cavs fan was the first
Sounds
comment
like
on
Beavis.
there that, like, went into some nerd, like, conversation about why he doesn't like to watch Steph Curry. If you're watching that, you need a break from sports, pal. Go talk to a girl.
Yeah, they blew a 3-1 lead 9 years ago. Like, come on, man. Who cares? Steph Curry's fun.
Yeah, like, every kid loves Steph Curry. I guess I just don't understand. There are certain things I guess I should understand more. Like, there's always going to be people that hate somebody no matter what they do because it's jealousy. And you're jealous that Steph Curry is just in fuego and drops dimes like it's nobody's business. And you wish you could do something like that.
All he wants to do is shoot threes. He's ruining the game.
Okay, really quick before we
Choose his
get
mouthpiece, really arrogant.
This is yes or no, not one word. Yes or no. Nick Chubb.
No.
Okay. Did you see the workout video?
Who cares?
Yes. I mean, he fits what you're doing this year. Like, he's essentially a Pacheco and Kareem Hunt in one body.
Do it.
Why not? Kick the tires
exactly,
Kareem
why
Hunt
not,
with Nick Chubb.
I'm in.
Of course, because you know his name. He jumped over a box.
He
on
jumped
video.
over a box, bro.
Who's to say that's not AI?
No, Nick Chubb, come on.
Even
I don't
AI
know.
can't make up Chubb's body type.
I don't know, man. AI's
And
doing
I
a lot
worry-
of things these days.
I mean, could you imagine Holtis, Chubb, drinking the nectars of the, gargling the nectars of the end zone gods as Chubb? Like, that's just a call that you save.
Fantastic.
And you never get rid of it. Plus
When was the
he's-
last time he was a relevant player?
2 years
2
ago,
years
before
ago.
A long
he
time,
had the gruesome injury of his knee.
Yeah.
And then last year
And
he tried
broke
to
his
come
foot.
back. Yeah, absolutely. Coming up on the other side, we do get into what is a Tuesday threesome with one Bob Fescoe. Sounds gross, but he makes it interesting. 96.5 The Fan, your home for Kansas City sports.
You're listening to Fescoe and Dusty on your new home for Royals baseball. 96.5 The Fan.
For over 8 years, QC Kinetics is the nation's leader in non-surgical relief for joint pain, with over 50,000 satisfied patients. People with knee and back pain now living pain-free. Shoulder and hip pain, gone. What they're doing is nothing short of remarkable. They're using regenerative cell therapy to restore the tissue in their achy joints. They're using biologic growth factors with robust healing properties, carefully and strategically placed in your joint. It's a powerful and potent way to give your joints new life. The best part, with QC Kinetics, there are no drugs, no surgery, and no downtime. It's an all-natural cellular level option with lasting relief. Imagine doing all the things you enjoy this summer without being slowed down by that awful joint pain in your knees or your back. Call QC Kinetics now and learn about these cutting-edge treatments that can help you live your best life. Call 816-412-6299. That's 816-412-6299. It's QC Kinetics.
Okay, so I'm gonna let you in on a little secret. Wendy's has this new Cajun Crunch chicken sandwich. And to be honest, I'm kind of crushing hard on this Sammy. It's packed with bold Cajun flavors and topped with crispy onions for a satisfying crunch. All on Wendy's iconic spicy chicken sandwich. It's honestly kind of my dream sandwich. I hope it likes me back. For a sandwich you'll love, gotta be Wendy's. Open till midnight or later.
Limited time only at participating U.S. Wendy's. Hours may vary by location.
Start your new chapter with a bang. Whether you're celebrating your upcoming graduation or getting hitched, Centerfire has a shooting experience for you. We're the only 5-star indoor shooting range in KC, and our staff will make your shooting experience one to remember. We have a bachelor party and a full auto experience that'll get your blood pumping. From new shooters to seasoned vets, our professional staff will create a one-of-a-kind experience for you. Visit centerfireshootingsports.com to book online or come in and try one on today.
DQ presents How to Hit Summer's Sweet Spot. The new DQ Summer Blizzard Treat menu is here. And as the official treat of MLB, we're swinging big with our fan favorite S'mores Blizzard Treat. Plus, new mixing bowl mashup with brownie batter and chocolate chip cookie dough. And even more in our stacked summer lineup. Hurry in today because nothing says summer like baseball and our new Summer Blizzard Treat menu. Right now at DQ. Happy tastes good. Participation may vary. Major League Baseball trademarks used with permission.
This is the story of the one who, as a maintenance specialist for a historic high-rise, knows that vintage charm historically needs constant attention. Which is why, when it's time to upgrade turn-of-the-century mechanicals, they turn to Grainger. With easy access to 1 million-plus products and the scale to deliver when and where you need them, the right tools and supplies are never far away. So the one can keep that vintage building running like new. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done. This is the story of the one who, as a maintenance specialist for a historic high-rise, knows that vintage charm historically needs constant attention. Which is why, when it's time to upgrade turn-of-the-century mechanicals, they turn to Grainger. With easy access to 1 million-plus products and the scale to deliver when and where you need them, the right tools and supplies are never far away. So the one can keep that vintage building running like new. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
All power, zero compromise. Ego cordless outdoor power equipment features advanced lithium battery technology that exceeds the power and performance of gas without the noise, fuss, or fumes. From blowers and trimmers to mowers and pressure washers, one battery powers over 90 tools. No wonder it is the #1 rated brand in cordless outdoor power. Power beyond belief. Visit egopowerplus.com to learn more or to find an Ego retailer near you. That's egopowerplus.com.
Need to sell your house in Kansas City but not sure where to start? Selling a home can feel overwhelming, especially if you're facing foreclosure, a divorce, an inherited property you don't want, or just need to move quickly. But you don't have to figure it out alone. Rex Buys KC is here to help. As a local home buyer, I understand the Kansas City market inside and out. My family and I live right here, so I know the neighborhoods, the trends, and the challenges homeowners face. That's why I take a consultative approach, helping you explore your options and find the best path forward. We buy houses in any condition, no need for repairs, no agent commissions, and no hidden fees. You'll receive a fair cash offer with a closing timeline that works for you. Whether that's in as little as 7 days or at your own pace, just a simple, hassle-free process designed around your needs. If you're ready to talk through your options, call me today at 816-330-6000 or visit rexbuyskc.com. Let's find the right solution for you. Rex Buys KC. Local, fair, and focused on you.
Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Things pretty heavy in the Grandview Triangle along 470 westbound, then 435 westbound off again on again, slow to the state line. Long delays in Peculiar 49 northbound, slow for about 2 miles approaching J Highway, where they force you to go through the service road intersection with construction. Alan Carr, 96.5 The Fan, traffic.
That is the right music to play for our next topic, which is what we do on Tuesdays. We go to our Tuesday threesome, and Mr. Fescoe, this is your bit.
All right, here we go. Here are 3 things. Just pick one. It doesn't matter what it is.
I don't even need to hear the other two.
The first one is I had yesterday. That's why it's on the list. It is a Reese's Pieces and Fluff Blizzard.
Fluff?
Mm-hmm.
Like the marshmallow fluff?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Yes.
Okay.
Shador Sanders.
I'm good.
And Aaron Rodgers.
I've consumed enough Shador Sanders for the next year. I think I'm good on that.
Have you?
Yeah, it was like going to New Orleans. I don't need to see Etouffee for another 8 months.
Oh, you're going to see Shador Sanders more than you want to see Shador Sanders.
Yeah, they had New Orleans style menu at Applebee's. I didn't walk in the door.
No.
Nope, I'm good on that. I don't need any Aaron Rodgers. I'm good on that.
And you're going to get a lot of that coming up here really, really fast with Aaron Rodgers, because ESPN just had a story, Rodgers regret, talking about the Jets, I guess.
Jeez.
The Pittsburgh owner came out and goes, yeah, I think we're going to sign Aaron Rodgers. You know, we feel pretty good that that's still going to happen. So you're going to get a lot of Aaron Rodgers. The 2 most talked about quarterbacks in the NFL this year are going to be Shador Sanders, who may end up in Canada. No, the Toronto Argonauts have the rights now to Shador Sanders. Yeah, they took the rights to Shador Sanders. And so he may end up there. Who knows? We're going to talk.
He's really good. He got drafted by 2 teams.
Two teams in 2 different leagues. How many other guys have done that, right?
What's your talent?
So Shador Sanders and Aaron Rodgers will dominate the next 5 months of NFL coverage at least. And then we go into the season and see where it is. And if Shador is starting, then that's a story. If he's not starting, when is he going to start? That becomes the story. These are the guys that move the needle. So you got your Reese's Peanut Butter Cup and Fluff Blizzard.
Oh, it's cup, not pieces?
Whatever the pieces, yeah. The Reese's
that's a big switch, because not a pieces guy, but big cup guy.
I'm trying to think what it was. It was just said Reese's.
You just blacked out when you took the first bite. That's what happened
fantastic,
to you.
Yeah. I mean, that was great. I mean,
yeah,
it was so good. Yeah, fantastic. Great blizzard.
Sounds really good.
You are a chocolate peanut butter lord.
Oh, I love it. I could eat that all day, man.
That's your thing.
It is. I love it. So that's what those are your choices. What are you going with, Mac?
Yeah, give me the Blizzard. Are
you
kidding me? I don't want to deal with any of these guys.
Is it unanimous?
Yeah,
right?
100%.
It's unanimous for us. but it is not going to be unanimous when it comes to the four-letter network or anybody else who's talking about this stuff. And what's going to happen is instead of everybody focusing on the Blizzard and the Reese's peanut butter and the fluff and the ice cream and all that good stuff.
I just don't like it being called fluff.
Fluff or nutter? I mean, do you prefer that? Because that's what it's called.
That's what the Blizzard's called, a fluffer nutter Blizzard.
It said Reese's peanut butter and fluff. Look at their menu. I don't know what it was called. It was something to that level. Marshmallow fluff or whatever you want to call it.
That sounds like 99 cents at Hy-Vee.
You could get a whole jar of that, yeah.
That's dangerous.
It is.
Yeah, the Reese's Fluffer Nutter.
Yeah, there it is. It's fantastic.
Didn't know that was the title.
Yeah, fantastic. So what I'm getting at is you're going to love that to the day you die. You're going to want that. You're going to want that. You're going to want that. But you're not going to be served that. You're going to be served, and you're going to be overserved like you were at a bar. You're going to be overserved. Aaron Rodgers right there on the TV right now, and you're going to be oversold and overserved on Shedeur Sanders, one guy who's never played it down in the NFL and may never be any good in the NFL, and a guy who's washed. But the moral of the story is, as much as you want that Blizzard, you're still clicking on that Aaron Rodgers stuff. You're still clicking on the Shedeur Sanders stuff. And when people say, why are you talking about that? Why are you discussing those guys? Because you've shown us you want it. You've shown us you're interested in it. It moves the needle. That's why everybody is talking about Shedeur Sanders and not Cam Ward. I know there's people that are like, wait a second, Cam Ward was the number one pick of this draft, and nobody mentioned Cam Ward. Like, that guy did not get a minute to be glazed on Thursday night. It was immediately the trade, Travis Hunter, when's Shedeur Sanders going to be drafted? And then where's Aaron Rodgers going to sign? When's Aaron Rodgers going to sign?
Who went 4th and 5th in the draft, Mac? Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Yeah. That guy who went to Carolina as their wide receiver, right? Like,
Ted McMillan went to Carolina.
Right. And then Will Campbell, is that the one?
Will Campbell with Patriots. Yep.
Was defend the rest of my life blocking for Drake May.
Drake May.
Sure you will.
Did he say that? I
He
missed
cried
that.
on stage.
Protect the rest of my life. Drake May, that's his job, baby.
God.
Yeah,
Hey, I'm in.
Glad I missed that.
I'm in.
Drake
That's
May's
what I
like my
want.
best friend. It's like, dude, that guy cried for me. Hasn't even met me yet. Oh,
That guy better not miss a block.
Seriously. Yeah.
Seriously, like I had no idea, like because we were at the landing and caught up, and the Travis Hunter trade happened, and then Abdul Carter went, and I kind of lost interest after that until the Chiefs came back around.
Yeah.
But let's be honest here, man. This is what. Look at. I mean, should the Steelers go all in on Aaron Rodgers? It's been a topic now on SportsCenter for the last 5 minutes, and then
you want to watch the news?
No, I don't. And then when, the news sucks. And then when are we going to see Shedeur Sanders? And those are going to be the two biggest topics of the NFL this season. It's not going to be about the Chiefs. It's not going to be about their offense. It's not going to be about the fun with Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce. It's not going to be about Philly running it back. It's going to be about those two quarterbacks until we get to kickoff of that season.
Did you see the second text?
Oh, that's perfect.
From the 405. Rob Brenton thinks the NFL draft is washed.
That's fantastic. Respect the text.
That is good. I do like that. Yeah. Well, this one may have been. Who knows?
Yeah.
Like I like what the Chiefs did in the draft, but we don't know about this. There wasn't that star player, and the only guy that anybody was talking about was the 144th pick.
So
go ahead.
I was just say, who is least talked about, Cam Ward or Eric Fisher? As a number one pick, who was talked about less?
Cam Ward.
I think he's right about that.
I think so too.
I think it is. Yeah, and he's a quarterback.
There was no Shedeur in that draft. There was no distractions.
Yeah, there was nothing in that draft.
It was a really bad draft.
Yeah, it was like Eric Fisher, Luke Jokel.
Yeah, they
Lane
just
Johnson,
showed Luke Jokel after that.
Yeah, there was no.
Yeah.
There was no discussion of anything. Like Eric Fisher got his flowers, and Andy Reid picking first his first year in Kansas City. Like there were a lot of good storylines. They had just acquired Alex Smith. Now they got a guy that can block for Alex Smith. So, yeah, I've never seen a first overall pick thrown to the wayside like Cam Ward was.
Love it. Now I don't have any just under the radar. I got to go back to the dessert treat from Dairy Queen. Who were you driving?
Yeah.
So you ordered it through the thing? Did you order it with your chest out?
No.
Okay. Because I feel like I would order that really quiet. Like, I'll do the fluffer nutter.
However you say it into the speaker.
I've got one fluffer nutter. I'm like, okay, like let's
large.
No, mini. Mini's enough.
He got a mini.
No,
fluffer.
it is. It is enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't need a large. Like that's that's over a pint of ice cream. I think.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
You eating those Ben and yeah, probably. Those little Ben and Jerry cups you get in the freezer at Quick Trip. Like, I'll just eat half.
Yeah.
And you're like hearing the scrape of the bottom. You're like, son of a gun.
Yeah, so you got to go the mini. That's the way to go. It's still $5 for a mini, though. I mean, like, good Lord, ice cream prices.
816, usually a fluffer nutter costs me an $80 dinner and a couple of drinks.
Yeah. And mine was better.
Yeah, exactly.
Your guys' slander of the NFL draft is comical.
Well, nobody's slandering the NFL draft.
Yeah.
We're telling you what happened. Like, how did you get slander out of that? Open your ears. I mean, that's just a dumb text. Slandering the draft. Oh, because you don't agree with exactly what we're saying, so it's slander. I got it.
We much rather talk draft than Royals because now it's Royals for the next 3 months.
We much.
We talked the compelling things of the draft. Shedeur Sanders is going to be compelling. How did he handle his first meeting? You know that's going to be the question.
Whoa. There's a fluffer nutter sandwich that's
yeah. You didn't know that?
It's peanut butter and marshmallow fluff on white bread.
Oh, yeah.
How do you talk? You got
your
to
mouth?
eat that.
That's true.
With your mouth. I know. I'm aware of that.
Well, you asked a question. I gave you an answer.
Well, I'm going to piss this texter off because we're not going to talk the NFL draft. We're going to talk the Royals and their superstar who has a 19-game hitting streak that you can hear tonight on 96.5 The Fan. You're home for the Kansas City Royals.
Hey, it's Matt Quattrero, and you're listening to Fescoe and Dusty on your home for Royals baseball. 96.5 The Fan.
I'll tell you, my friend Dawn Sharp is unbelievable at what she does in the real estate business. You just have to look at the results and see for yourself. Who has over 200 5-star Google and Zillow reviews? Well, my friend Dawn Sharp does, and that's because she takes care of business and takes care of everybody's problems, right? When you're trying to sell your home, hey, maybe you're in a sticky situation, you just want to get rid of that home, Dawn Sharp can help you. Why do other agents have such a hard time selling your property? It's because they don't know how to price it correctly. But we know someone who does. Dawn Sharp and her team. Experience the Dawn Sharp team, brokered by Epic Realty, and the difference they have for yourself. The Sharp Homes team can give you options as well. If you want to skip the showings and open houses and go straight to sold, you can contact them to discuss their instant offer program. In fact, contact the only agent I would trust if I needed to sell my home. It's Dawn Sharp, brokered by Epic Realty. And you know what? You can Google them at Sharp Homes team and see those great reviews like I talked about and understand why she sells in the last 12 months 150 homes while the average agent sells just 4 homes per year. The Sharp Homes team is on it from the beginning until they sell that home. So visit them today at homesforsaleInKC.com. That's homesforsaleInKC.com and start packing.
Getting engaged? At Shane Company, we'll help you find the perfect diamond. This is your engagement ring, aka only your life's most important piece of jewelry. No need to worry. As gemstone experts since 1929, we handpick only the most beautiful natural and lab-grown diamonds cut to our high standards in every price range. We have diamonds in all shapes and sizes, ready to compare side by side right here in our store. Come see for yourself at Shaneco.com or at your local store. No appointment necessary. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
BetMGM is making your next golf tournament winner bets more exciting with Second Chance. What's Second Chance? Ever bet on your favorite golfer to win a tournament only to see them miss the green? Well, with BetMGM's Second Chance promotion, you'll get your stake back in cash if your tournament winner bet finishes in second instead. That's right. Simply bet on any player to win a scheduled golf tournament during a promotional week. If you're right, you win. But if your pick finishes in second instead of first, you get your stake back in cash. Watch your favorite players go for the win all season long and bet knowing you'll get your stake back if they finish second. Log in today and make your picks with confidence with BetMGM. BetMGM and GameSense remind you to play responsibly. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 plus only. Kansas only. Existing customer offer. Subject to eligibility requirements. Rewards paid back in unrestricted withdrawable funds. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In partnership with Kansas Crossing Casino and Hotel.
The Other Place, Shawnee, Olathe, downtown Overland Park, Mission, and Belton have lots of big screens, great food, and beer specials. Plus, patio season is coming up soon. The Other Place is your home for baseball this spring. The Other Place and theotherplace.com.
Hi, Mia here at the winnings desk of the Missouri Lottery. With 56 million winning tickets last year, anyone can win big. So set your destination to winning, like gas stations, grocery stores, or anywhere you can buy a ticket. The Missouri Lottery. Winners welcome and play responsibly.
This report is brought to you by O'Reilly Auto Parts, your professional parts people.
Get 5 quarts of O'Reilly Full Synthetic Motor Oil and a MicroGuard oil filter for $29.99. In-store only. Limit supply.
O'Reilly Auto Parts. Royals coverage sponsored by Metal by the Foot, your metal project superstore.
Who is the area's only dealer for Fronius professional welding equipment? Metal by the Foot, located in KC and Topeka. Online at metalbythefoot.com. When you need a piece of metal, remember, metal doesn't have to cost an arm or a leg, just the foot.
Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Heading into downtown, 169 highway gets heavy by the airport exit and stays off again, on again heavy all the way across the bridge into the downtown loop. Heading in peculiar 49 northbound, you're shut down at J Highway with construction on the main lanes. Force you through the service road intersection, slow for about 2 miles. Alan Carr, 96.5 The Fan, traffic.
Subscribe to our YouTube channel and watch all the shows from your phone, desktop, or tablet. Your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5 The Fan, KFNC FM and AM, HD1 and HD2 Kansas City, an Odyssey sports station.
Going right along in the 8 o'clock hour here on a gloomy day. It's kind of gnarly looking outside.
I thought it was supposed to be sunny out today. It looks sunny in the other side of the building, and now we're looking at clouds.
I can't believe it's not butter.
You playing golf?
Yeah, 4 o'clock. The weather is all south, so I don't think it's going to rain today. But man, it was dumping at like 1:30 this morning when I got up to use the old men's room or the bathroom, I guess you say.
So you're playing at 1:30? It'll be dry by then.
No,
You'll be
4
fine.
o'clock. 4 o'clock.
Oh, you're playing golf at 4 o'clock?
Yeah, got up at 1 o'clock this morning to use the restroom, and it sounded like somebody was just like pouring down just buckets of water.
Can you get 18 in starting that late?
Yeah, for sure, because there probably won't be a ton of people out because it'll be cart path only. So a bunch of the, guys that have to be, right next to the ball every time will definitely be like, oh, I'm not playing if it's cart path only. Okay, fine.
Really?
And
You're
then
that lazy? I mean, I hate to be that way, but that's lazy.
Oh, yeah. Tons of people like that. And then, it's 4 o'clock. So everybody's like, Tuesday's normally like a night for leagues.
Yeah.
So a lot of leagues are going around the metro area. So you get on at 4. We're done normally by about 7:30.
Mm-hmm.
And then sunset's about 7:50 to 8 o'clock-ish in that window. So hopefully we're done well before that. But we will have the opportunity to see if one man can get it to 20 games because he currently sits at 19. And Mark DeRosa, the manager of the United States World Baseball Classic roster, had this to say about one Bobby Witt Jr.
What did his start look like last year compared to this year? What does he do? What is he hammering during this 19-game hit streak? I mean, it's everything. So let's get into it. Let's give him some love. Hopefully don't jinx him. He's too good to be jinxed. And the way his body moves, like I said, if I'm starting a franchise today, give me number 7 from the Kansas City Royals. He's showing up every day to be the greatest player that this game's ever seen.
The greatest player that this game has ever seen.
Hyperbolic or
today?
Pump
yes.
the brakes?
Yeah, absolutely. Today, yes. Yeah, absolutely. Is he on pace to be in the conversation? You bet. Yeah, but he's got to do it for, 20 years in baseball, right?
Fair.
I mean, I don't know what the
20 is a stretch. I would say 10 to 15.
Yeah, but I don't think 10's enough, though. I mean, you look at some of these guys. Now, money's different today, right? Like, Bobby Witt doesn't need to play more than 10 years to be set for life and to set his family up for generations, obviously, right? So it's a little bit different than it was, back in the day when people start talking about the greatest baseball players of all time. Most of them came in the 60s, and Willie Mays and guys like that. They didn't make any money, so they played a lot longer to continue to get that check and to continue to play baseball and to continue to have a great job. But Bobby Witt Jr., the money doesn't need to be there, obviously, because he's making the big check right now. So I don't know, 10 years, 15 years to become in that conversation of the greatest of all time. I think in baseball it's a lot different, and it's a lot harder harder to be considered the greatest of all time in baseball than it is in the NBA or the NFL at this point in time, because the NBA and the NFL seemingly are continuing to evolve, and we want there to be who's the next Michael Jordan, who's going to be better than Michael Jordan. We have wanted LeBron to take that, and he hasn't been able to take that. Anthony Edwards probably will not be that guy. I don't think playing in Minnesota lends itself right now to that. He may have to bounce around, get to a New York or in LA or a place like that to really get that spotlight. So I think in basketball, we're trying to force somebody to be the greatest. We have that conversation daily. We have the conversation in the NFL daily as well. Who's the greatest of all time when it comes to the quarterbacks, right? We're trying to see if anybody's ever going to be able to replace Tom Brady. We hope Patrick Mahomes can be that guy. We don't really have that conversation in baseball of who the greatest of all time is, because I think up until the last couple of years anyway, everybody just said, well, it's Babe Ruth. The guy could pitch and the guy could hit. There's really no argument there. And for about a century, people were right about that, right? Because he did both. Now you've got Shohei Ohtani doing both at a time when it's much harder and much more difficult to be a productive player. He's doing both. You got Bobby Witt doing his thing. But in baseball, for whatever reason, we never, ever talk about who's going to be the next greatest player of all time. We've just grandfathered in guys like Babe Ruth and Willie Mays and Joe DiMaggio and whoever else played back in the day, and we've never opened ourselves up to the conversation. Maybe it's a big reason why baseball has never been able to take that next step for a lot of people in their eyes of like, we've never been able to say this could be the next great baseball player. Like, that debate has never happened, who the next great baseball player is or who is the greatest of all time, because we've all just given it to Babe Ruth and they go, he pitched and hit and led baseball in home runs for 1,000 years until Bonds showed up, and everybody's like, yeah, you're right, fine, move on. And there's just never been an argument about that.
I think the problem with baseball is that it's gone through so many of like distrust situations.
Well, yes.
Right? Like, it's had, the league where like African American people weren't allowed to play. Then Jackie Robinson comes in. It's a new
But that
era
was
of
every
baseball.
sport.
I understand. But every sport wasn't like at their peak. Like, football got popular in the 80s, I would say. Or it started to get popular like the late 70s when the Steelers were going through their run.
Look, I think football really got popular. I think you were right. I think it's the late 80s, early 90s, and then the baseball strike hit in 94, and football took off and has never looked back.
Right, and the NBA was thriving in the late 80s and the mid-90s, so when baseball goes away in 94 and Michael Jordan and Chicago Bulls are on the second leg of their three-peat, the second one, that's where basketball was thriving. Baseball was on a strike, and football was gearing up with the trademark of America's team in the Dallas Cowboys. Everybody was, everybody knew who that team was. Everybody knew who Troy Aikman, Michael Irvin, Emmett Smith were. They knew who Leon Lett was. They knew who Barry Switzer was. They knew
94
who
was
Jimmy Johnson.
past their prime, though.
And so, I think that, that football really had, one strong push to start, and it really hasn't dipped yet. Football is just continuing to go up the Price is Right mountain. Whereas baseball has been up, then it was down, then it was up, then it was down, then it was an era, then it wasn't, then it was the live ball era, then it wasn't, then it was the steroid era, then it wasn't. And so that kind of hurts when you have different superstars in different eras during different circumstances of the game. Whereas, for 10 years, we saw Mike Trout play. And then for the last 6, we haven't seen him play because he's been hurt.
Right.
Now he's back hitting home runs at a very rapid pace. I think he has 9 on the year. He's 1 behind the lead in the American League. And granted, only hitting 190, but again, batting averages are dead. So again, you go back to that exact same thing. Did that guy hit 55 home runs in a season but only hit 250? Yes. Did this guy back then named Tony Gwynn, who was so good at seeing baseballs they didn't even make him do the eye test at the DMV? Tony Gwynn today would be just he'd be Luis Ariz. He doesn't move the needle.
Right.
But you know who does? Aaron Judge. And I think it's interesting because when we look at the NFL and you talk about players, and Bobby Witt Jr. will come back in this conversation, you look at the NFL and you ask every single franchise, all 32 franchises in the NFL, or all 30. And you're like, start a franchise today, name one player. Every single team should tell you Patrick Mahomes. And if they don't, they're a liar.
Yeah,
I don't care what anybody says.
If you're Buffalo and you think Josh Allen is good or you got Joe Burrow. Or
you can't do that in baseball with Bobby Witt Jr. Now, I think more than half of the franchises would be like, give me Bobby. But I think everybody would say Shohei Ohtani. If not Bobby Witt Jr., there will be a lot of Aaron Judges.
I think it would be fun to do a survey of the 30 GMs in baseball and say, if you could start a franchise, what player you're taking, and see how many of them say Shohei Ohtani. I think you'd be close to an overwhelming majority. I think it would be a clean sweep of Shohei Ohtani.
It's the Mahomes effect of taking the best player available of a fantasy draft. If you were to go to Cincinnati and be like, I know you love Joe Burrow, but you have the first pick of any player available, you are turning cloak and going straight to Mahomes. If you're the Jets, if you're the Giants, if you're the Dolphins, if you're the Rams,
it doesn't matter.
Every team, unanimously should, and they probably would, take Patrick Mahomes. Now, where you look at baseball and you say, okay, Bobby Witt Jr., Aaron Judge, Shohei Ohtani, you'd probably get 10 that would say Bobby Witt Jr. because they would defend it. They'd say he's going to play every day. He's a 5-tool player, and he wins. Okay, cool. You look at Aaron Judge. You'd be like, semi 5-tool player. Doesn't really run a whole lot anymore, but does the other 4 tools very well. Better than anybody else in the game. It's fun to watch.
And then hitting 400 and hitting home runs. It's pretty good.
And knocking runs in and doing the average. Yeah, like you said. So the thing with Aaron Judge, like, it's there. And then you would look at Shohei Ohtani and be like, wait a minute. So, like, the best hitter in the game and one of the top 5 best pitchers in the game, and I can have him on my team, and he's going to also pitch every 5th day, and he's also going to probably play every day as well. Yeah, Ohtani would be, out of 32.
No, 30.
30, out of 30, I think 25 would say Ohtani.
See, I think it would be a straight 30. I really do.
I mean, I would hope, and I love Bobby Witt Jr. I think Bobby Witt Jr. is great. It's not his time yet, if that makes any sort of sense. He's come at he's like, to use a bad example, he's Joe Burrow or Josh Allen in the Mahomes era right now because he's always battling Shohei Ohtani or Aaron Judge. I would almost put it, similar. Mahomes has a lot more time left. I would almost put it as he's in the Kobe role to Jordan. Like, the others know. Like, Judge, I'm sure Judge and Bobby are on a text line with each other. They're like, hey, man, saw you did that. Like, whatever it may be.
Right.
And I'm sure Ohtani's got an interpreter that, like, stays in the loop with other guys as well that's not gambling. But I think that, like, with Mahomes, there's still possibly 10 years left of him being in the NFL, 7 of which where he could be dominant. Bobby Witt Jr., to your credit, you would say 10 to 15.
Yeah.
Judge, maybe 5. Ohtani, I don't know. I always say that time is undefeated. And eventually Ohtani, I don't know off the top of my head how old he is. But eventually, it's going to come down to, like, he's just a DH.
Well, he had 6 years in Anaheim, right? Roughly.
I want to say, something tells me he's like 32.
Yeah, I was going to say early 30s for Ohtani.
The clock on Judge and Ohtani is shorter than what the clock is on Mahomes. But what's different is that, like, Mahomes should be, and probably is, unanimous, the number 1 player anyone in the NFL would take. Whereas, like, Bobby Witt Jr. is not him now, but if you have this conversation in 3 years, it's still Mahomes. And now it's Bobby.
It may be, depending on what Shohei Ohtani and Aaron Judge do, because they're always going to be in that conversation. And that's what's good for baseball. Like, having this conversation, baseball should be sitting there with tight pants on going, oh, wow, we're having a conversation of who the best player is in the game. In the NFL, it is unanimous. Like, every GM in the NFL should be taking Patrick Mahomes. In baseball, you have a debate on who you could take, right? If you are starting a franchise in Major League Baseball and you have one of the top 3 picks, you're getting a home run, lock, stock, barrel, guaranteed winner home run player on your team. Whether you take Ohtani, whether you take Judge, or whether you take Bobby Witt. In the NFL, that's not necessarily the case. It's a home run with Patrick Mahomes, and then everybody else is kind of thrown into that category.
Yeah, I mean, I think to give it a comparison, I think that if, like, you took Judge and Ohtani off the board and Bobby Witt Jr. was the next one, I think everybody would still be, flabbergasted and amazed. Just like if you took Mahomes off, I think anybody would be like, I can choose Allen or Burrow. I mean, I'll take my chances.
I'll take Shador.
Yeah, well, that would take a while. But no, I think the other thing that's great about it too is you have Bobby Witt Jr. in a category, in a conversation where you have an international superstar and Shohei Ohtani, who plays for the, Dodgers.
Yeah.
And then you have Aaron Judge, who is an international superstar because he plays for the Yankees.
Right.
And then it's Bobby Witt Jr. in Kansas City.
Right.
So it's really
how
nice
do we get him to be that international superstar, right? Let's start playing some of those games overseas. You're not going to be before long before you see the Royals playing over there in Europe, right? And have those London games and the Royals exposing Bobby Witt Jr. to a national audience. It's going to happen sooner rather than later.
Keep doing home run derby and keep stealing the show. That's one way to do it. You can do that yourself if you want, but you also need the help of Major League Baseball, which we already talked about as well. We can bring it back up a little bit later. We're coming up, a GM from good to bad to terrible, all in one conversation. Plus, we get to our on the come on the other side here on Fescoe and Dusty on 96.5 The Fan, your home for Kansas City sports.
You're listening to Fescoe and Dusty. Make sure to follow us on Instagram @TheFan965 for behind-the-scenes content from the show. Kansas City's FM sports station, 96.5 The Fan.
Well, I'll tell you what, days like this just help my lawn look better and better and better. But it wouldn't look this good if it wasn't for the folks over at Aspen Lawn and Pest Control and their college-educated professionals who came out to our house about a month ago and went, yeah, we can fix this. It's not as bad as you said it was. I go, no, it's pretty terrible. For 12 years, we've been battling weeds and trees and roots and all this kind of stuff. And I'm just like, I can't do it anymore. Aspen Lawn and Pest Control, help me out. And they did it. They got the job done right the first time. They've come out, put down the first, application of fertilizer, the first, pre-treater out there to keep all the dandelions away. And my yard is weed-free and dandelion-free right now. It's green. It's lush. It looks awesome. They come out and cut it, and they're getting it to be the best-looking lawn on the block. That's how good they are, that they can dominate my lawn and make it look the best on my block. And they've been serving Kansas City since 1985. They offer full-service lawn care, irrigation, and pest control. And here in a couple of weeks, the mosquito dome gets put over the top of the house, and it's going to keep all those mosquitoes out this spring and summer when we're sitting outside. It's going to keep the fleas and ticks off the dog as well, and I'm looking forward to that more than anything. So get in touch with Aspen today, and if you mention you heard this ad, they'll give you up to half off your first application. Visit them at aspenlawn.com. That's aspenlawn.com.
Something amazing is happening when power outages strike. Teams are powering through them. That's because CDW Solutions architects are building more resilient IT and electrical infrastructures with Schneider Electric. With EcoCare remote monitoring services and 24/7 support, your organization can do more than keep the lights on. Schneider Electric and CDW make amazing happen. Learn more at cdw.com/Schneider Electric.
Kubota Orange Days delivers the savings you need for the life you love. Shop a wide selection of equipment at your local dealer, including America's #1 selling compact tractor. And get your perfect match delivered to your door. Designed for comfort and built for performance. Now through June 30th, get 0 down, 0% APR for 84 months or up to $3,000 off select compact tractors. Sales ending soon. See the details at KubotaOrangeDays.com.
As men get older, our bodies change. We all know that, and often we just accept the changes as the way it is. But some of those changes, such as bad sleep patterns, low sex drive, brain fog, no energy, and reduced gains in the gym, could be due to low testosterone. And that is something you can change. This is Jeff for Heartland Men's Health. And even if you're in your 30s, if you're experiencing some or all of the symptoms I just noted, you very well may need low testosterone treatment. With our treatment protocols, if you're like most men, you'll be amazed at the change. You'll have more energy, improved mental clarity, your sleep will be better, so will your workouts, and you'll likely find that your sex drive increases too. So give us a call today and make the change for good. Your initial visit is just $99 and includes blood work and a medical consult. And if you start on treatment the day of your appointment, your visit is free. Call 844-447-6600. That's 844-447-6600. Or go to heartlandmenshealth.com. We have 3 offices to serve you. Heartland Men's Health, a Promenic restorative health practice.
Every morning, we rise and shine, make breakfast, and brush away the night's rest. These routines help us start the day off right. Nature-Made vitamins are a simple step in that daily care regimen. Multivitamins with daily essentials, clinically studied probiotics for gut health support, magnesium to help relax the body. Nature-Made is made to care for you every day. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Thanks for calling Discover. This is Nia.
Hi, Nia. It's Jennifer. Did you know that Discover automatically doubles all the cash back you've earned at the end of your first year?
Yeah, I work here.
Okay. I was just double checking. Get it?
Because Discover automatically doubles all the cash back you've earned at the end of your first year?
Oh, you get me, Nia.
You could say that I double get you.
I guess we've taken it too far.
You earn, we match. Discover Cashback Match. See terms at discover.com/credit card.
David is a real Prevagen user, and this is his story.
Nice to meet you. My name is David. I've been a pharmacist for 44 years, and I'm from Flowery Branch, Georgia. When I first started taking Prevagen, I noticed stuff just seemed to come together and fit like a jigsaw puzzle. When I have customers come in, I recommend Prevagen. Number one, because it's safe and effective, does not require a prescription, and I've been taking it quite a while myself, and I know it works. I wouldn't recommend something like Prevagen if I didn't think it was worth it because it works so good for me. And I love it when the customers come back in and tell me, David, that really worked so good. Makes my day.
Prevagen, at stores everywhere without a prescription. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Testimonialist was compensated for their time.
Life's better with American Family Insurance. Because whether it's a family road trip in your dream car or hosting a family reunion in your dream home, we help you feel protected so you can enjoy those dreams with peace of mind. Save up to 23% when you bundle home and auto. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. Visit amfam.com to learn how discounts may apply to you. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the Mission Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling Studios. Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Missouri side 49 northbound shut down and Peculiar at J Highway. About a mile and a half of slow traffic to get through that. Construction forces you through the service road intersection until at least noon. Inbound I-70 a little slow around Nolan. Past that, sluggish from Truman into downtown. Alan Carr, 96.5 The Fan. Traffic.
For this song. Speaking of a groove tender, Joshua Briscoe will join the show at about 9:20 today. We'll get his thoughts on the draft. We'll also do start, bench, cut. In this segment, we will get to on the come.
I also want Mac to have his camera on because we're about to drop a truth bomb. I want to see your reaction to this one. If it's as good as DeAndre Hopkins, I told Dusty this in the break, and so he didn't have quite the reaction that I think Mac's going to have on this one. Is your camera on?
It's on. Ready to go.
The odds for Giannis's next team?
Okay. Give me
Brooklyn Nets.
Oh, come on.
Worked out the last time they did something like this.
Because they need that franchise to
they
win.
Need to do something.
They do. He should go to the Knicks.
Yeah, exactly. Go to the Knicks
Seriously,
with Jalen Brunson.
go to the Knicks.
Oh, that'd be so much fun. It'd be great for the
Trade
NBA.
for Karl Anthony Towns.
Juan Soto to the Mets. No one cares.
Right, exactly, because the Mets are irrelevant, just like the Nets and the Jets.
Why would he want to do that? Giannis.
Cash.
Yeah, money.
That's the thing. Like he did
already
everything
won.
he was supposed to do at the age of like 23.
I know that he won in Milwaukee.
It's
He
crazy.
Got paid, man.
Got paid. Yep. He's won an MVP. He's kind of done a lot.
How big of a star would he be though if he went to the Knicks, not Brooklyn, but he went to the Knicks and won a championship there?
That would be unreal.
Well, he'd do something that nobody's done in 60 years.
I mean, I don't think we've seen anything like that if the Knicks won a championship.
I hope he goes to the Lakers.
Oh, come on. Just build a super team.
Yeah.
Luka, LeBron, Giannis. That'd be fun.
Or
LeBron, probably the worst of that three.
Oh, he would be.
Like,
yeah.
who's more compelling this offseason to watch follow in the NBA, Giannis or the Joker?
Giannis, because the Nuggets are more fascinating to see what they're doing, but they're going to keep Jokic. Giannis is going to move.
Yeah, Giannis is going to move. I mean, and that, look, again, that's why the NBA offseason is great. Stars move, man, and people get excited about it, and they don't drag their feet. July 1st, the trade deadline stuff starts, right? The free agency period starts. July 2nd, it's over.
Exactly.
But that's great. That's outstanding. That's
awesome.
the way you want it, man. You want to do it that way.
It's like the mini peanut butter fluffer.
Yeah. Quick and to the point and get it
done.
done.
And then
you're satisfied.
But I mean, baseball, it takes forever for free agents to sign in baseball. Scott Boras sucks. And he just drags his feet and hurts the whole market and then takes away the excitement of the offseason. I mean, everybody loves the offseason. Look, the NFL offseason is phenomenal. The NBA offseason for the 2 days that it goes on is great because people are moving all over the place and kind of doing their thing. People love that kind of stuff. So I think, for Giannis to be a free agent, you don't have to be an NBA fan to realize one of the great superstars in American sports is going to be on the move this offseason. And if the NBA really wants to do it right, you send them to New York.
Yep,
I agree.
They're
That'd
LA.
be fun. That'd be awesome. That's exactly what the NBA needs.
They do.
Every series in the NBA is at 3-1 except the Clippers and the Nuggets. That is 2-2
tonight.
Yep. So
great series.
So Golden State they'll get housed, right, by Minnesota because they're just not physical. Minnesota's big.
I don't think they'll get housed, but it'll be a tough matchup for them. They have no one to really guard Steph Curry.
No one does.
Yeah, exactly. No one does.
Boston's going to take care of business against the Magic. Then they're going to play the Knicks. That's the best series in the next round. Indiana, Cleveland.
I think that's going to be great.
I bet you do. Oklahoma City versus the Nuggets. That's what we're hoping for.
That is going to be Well, no, I'm open for the Clippers. I don't think the Nuggets stand a chance against the Thunder. I think they get housed.
Way to go, LeBron and Luka. We could have had Golden State versus the Lakers, and then the other side of the East bracket, we could have had Knicks and Celtics, but we can't.
Yep, can't do it.
You just can't hack it anymore. All right. Anyways, so we played the audio yesterday. Shall we play it again of Mr. Bean trashing the radio host?
No, it was. I was just listening to the last few minutes of your show before I came on, waiting on here.
All right.
Sounds like 2018 all over with you guys.
Well, how so?
Well, you guys were bitching in 2018 about Josh Allen. You guys wanted Josh Rosen, and now you guys are bitching that we don't have a receiver. I don't get it. Like, we just scored. Hold on, let me talk. We just scored 30 points in a row for 8 straight games. A year ago, I get you guys asking why we didn't have receivers, but I don't understand it now. You just saw us lead the league in points when you add all the postseason. No one scored more points than the Buffalo Bills, including the Super Bowl champions. So you just saw us do it without Stephon Diggs, same group. How is this group not better than last year's group? Our job is to score points and win games. Where do we need to get better? Defense. We did that. So I get it. You got to have a show, and you got to have something to bitch about. But bitching about wide receiver is one of the dumbest arguments I've heard.
Okay.
And so he's defensive, obviously, for a reason. You look at the list of wide receivers in Buffalo, right? We did that yesterday. Not a lot of good players on that list. But what you miss is the second part of that conversation where I'm actually like, you know what? I actually support Brandon Beane on this one as well. He went on to say, I get it. I'm just like, let's be realistic, Beane continued. Our job, it's not fantasy football to trot out the best receivers. You got Josh Allen. First thing you got to do is protect him. You can't have everything. You can't have Pro Bowl wide receivers and a Pro Bowl offensive line and an all-pro quarterback and 3 great running backs. You got to pick. Sure, I'd love to play fantasy football, but there's one football, Jeremy. There's one ball. You can't give it to so many people. And so I hear that part of the conversation, and I'm like, he's absolutely right about that. That is, in my opinion, the right way to build a football team. You've got a superstar quarterback. You've got to allow that guy to elevate those around him. It's what the New England Patriots did for 20 years with Tom Brady for the most part, right? Yes, a Randy Moss was mixed in. That was their Stephon Diggs. Yes, a Gronk was mixed in at the end. That's our Travis Kelce, right? You ultimately, though, have said, we've got a superstar quarterback. We're paying that guy. Therefore, there's going to be other things we can't invest in. And that's just the way it goes in the NFL. And they've chosen to invest in their offensive line. They're now choosing to invest in defense, which is something that's been lacking on them. If you're a Buffalo fan, you'd rather have them spend money on the defensive side of the football and invest on that side of the football because that's what's cost you. The offense has yet to cost Buffalo in anything. It's always been about their defense. And so I listen to those hosts, and I appreciate where they're coming from. But they're also looking at it in a fantasy football lens, and that's just not the way NFL teams operate. They just don't do it that way. And when you have that star quarterback, it's time for those guys to be elevated by that quarterback.
You know, we do it here too, right? We say, oh, Hollywood Brown's our third wide receiver. Who else is behind him? People would kill to have 3 guys that good, or we don't really have that RB1. Well, you've got 3 or 4 dudes who are more than competent and can take the football field. So it's easy to say, this isn't as good as my Madden team or my fantasy football draft, but you're right. He's building a football team. I think Brandon Beane's on a hot seat. I haven't loved all of his moves over the past few years, but I think he's right in this situation.
Yeah, he's definitely right. And if you're an NFL GM and you try to run your franchise like a fantasy team, you're going to fail. You just can't do it that way. It's not about putting up fantasy numbers. And fantasy has been great for the popularity of the NFL. Gambling has been good for the popularity of the NFL. I think we're getting to a point now where fans are getting too upset over the bets that they're losing at times, and they need to chill out. a little bit in all that kind of stuff. But I think what we're looking at is a view of football right now that's coming from the fantasy football guy. We had somebody text in about Patrick Mahomes.
They got the words confused.
Wouldn't be the first pick in the fantasy draft. Well, we're not playing fantasy football here, and you have to stop viewing football from the fantasy football lens. You have to view it from the lens of a guy who has a salary cap, a roster, and other things to manage other than just putting up all kinds of crazy points. And Buffalo has put up those points. I think they're fine on offense. I really do. They've done a nice job on offense. Josh Allen has elevated those guys to a different level. Buffalo's problem has been stopping the opposition on defense and then asking Josh Allen to go score 40 a game, or Joe Burrow this year to go score 40 a game, right? Eventually, your defense has to step up and play. And if you don't have those guys on the defensive side because you invested everything on the offensive side, it's 2018 Kansas City all over again.
Do you think is Cook still not signed from Buffalo?
James Cook? I mean, he's still on that rookie deal.
Contract.
Yeah,
but he's still leaning towards holding out until he gets paid, right?
I haven't heard that. He's going to hold out. He's not going to show
he's
up.
just not been very, cooperative with the team.
No, Dusty's right. Yeah, this guy's been bitching and moaning the entire offseason. Unfollowed people off of Instagram.
I do remember the unfollowing. Yeah,
there was also his house was up for sale, or he was looking for a house somewhere else.
Yeah.
You know how we do these things.
Yeah.
So I didn't know, because he's a very valuable piece.
They need him.
Yeah, he was kind of the reason why their offense was good last year with Josh Allen. Obviously, I think Josh Allen is a perennial MVP candidate, one of the best quarterbacks in the league. I think he's the second best quarterback in the league, and I think there's a little bit of a gap between him and Burrow and Lamar. That's just my 2 cents. But yeah, I'm also in the same boat of Jay Binkley on this, because Jay Binkley to this day still is very pissed that Green Bay didn't surround Aaron Rodgers with a bunch of talent. They were like, go win it, go do it, and they didn't. And now we're seeing Josh Allen, who is, yes, very good. I think we're also very, very held captive in the prisoner of the moment that we've seen Mahomes do this. But I also think that we have this conversation all the time that Mahomes is that much better than everybody else.
He is.
Brady's game didn't really elevate to the game that we ever saw until Randy Moss came around in 2007. And then all of a sudden it was so this is Tom Brady? No, this is Tom Brady with more talent. Yes, Tom Brady without that big size talent in Randy Moss can still win you games, but it's a little bit easier if you add pieces around him. Again, I don't think the GM's wrong here. I think it's hilarious that he called to a radio show and called people out.
I love it.
Yeah.
I wish Veach and JJ would do that to us.
Right. And
please.
And I just think
guys are idiots. Yeah.
But again,
fair enough.
You look at the Chiefs and it's that year they went 11-6 and didn't have a whole lot of talent around Mahomes. That was Mahomes at age 28. That doesn't last forever. And I know Josh Allen is the same age or maybe 6 months or maybe a year younger than Mahomes. But it's that talent's not going to last forever at that level. Mahomes will always be a superstar talent because of what he has and what is between his ears and what's on his arm. But again, I'm glad they now have Rice, Worthy, Brown, Kelsey, and all those guys. I'd be scared to death if we went into this season with Sky Moore, Kadarius Toney, McCole Hardman.
Oh, you'd be hating life. But
of course.
It's not like the Chiefs invested money, though, in those positions. They just drafted well. And when it's time to invest money in those positions, bye-bye, and they'll draft again. I mean, they've shown us over the years already, starting with Tyreek, they're not going to invest in that wide receiver position to that kind of dollar Devontae Adams type money or Christian Kirk type money or anything like that. They're probably not going to invest that kind of money into a wide receiver as long as they have Patrick Mahomes. And to their credit, they've done a pretty good job of, drafting wide receivers. Xavier Worthy, Rashee Rice, some pretty good wide receivers right now. Now, maybe one of those guys gets a little bit of cheddar because the Kelsey money is coming off the books, but they're always going to maintain keeping guys young, keeping guys cheap, and investing where they need to invest. And I still think the biggest investments need to be made on the defensive side of the football.
Time for On the Come. Tuesday at 8:30. A lot of innuendos on this show today.
On the Come.
And?
On the Come.
Maybe 3 times. It's dark outside. Wake up.
On the Come.
All right, Bob. Take it away.
I'm going with Jordan Hudson.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Bill B's girl.
I mean, they're calling her the CEO of his, empire right now. The Bill Belichick Enterprises. They're calling her the COO or CEO of Bill Belichick Enterprises. Wow. She is definitely on the come. That CBS interview was just the beginning of how present she is going to be. It's going to be interesting to see where she is on game day. I don't know if she's going to be on the field next to Bill.
Sidelines,
So that's what I'm
literally.
saying.
She got to have a headset.
She's going to have a headset. She's going to be in a booth. She like she's kind
Holding
of.
cards.
I mean, she's in charge.
Yes, she's running the
She's
show.
in charge,
Hell
and so
yeah.
I'm interested to see where this thing continues to go. With her, interesting enough to note, her parents own an adult toy shop in Provincetown, Massachusetts. Just so you know.
Hey. Just a random factoid.
Yeah, I was going through her history and and doing my research on what exactly is going on here. And the New York Post dropped that one that her parents own an adult toy
Interesting.
shop in Provincetown, Massachusetts. So if you've ever been to P-Town, it's a great place. And so that's what they call it. And so you've got the opportunity to visit her parents' store up there if you're going up to the Cape for the weekend.
I don't think I will.
I think I'm good.
I
Yeah.
think I'll stay out of that store.
Interesting. Yeah, there's some definite conspiracies.
Was
though.
not expecting that.
No, I wasn't
I
either.
saw Jordan Hudson and did not see anything after that. And then we got novelty owners. That man Colin Coward yesterday called her his PR agent.
That's something similar.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's like,
no one can talk to him without
are
her
they
approval.
actually like are they platonic or are they like in a romantic relationship? I'm dead serious.
I mean,
Have you
the
seen
Instagram
them kiss in public?
No, but like his
Okay.
arms around her.
Yeah, I have a girlfriend that's a friend of mine that I would put my arm around.
No, but the hand placement looks
Okay, lower hip.
Lower hip.
Okay.
I don't know.
Are they actually?
Are you doing airplanes with your friend that's a girl on the beach?
If she wanted to. Maybe he's friend zoned.
Maybe he's friend zoned.
Like, that's what I'm wondering. Because she didn't want me to answer the question.
What's
how
in
they
it
met.
for him?
An agent in college sports that he doesn't have to worry about because the NFL, he had to do everything. And now he's like, I don't want to do that anymore. Oh, you're willing to do that? And you can be like eye candy with me to give me some life and keep me hip with the kids? You could tell me what kids like?
Yeah, but it's not working that way because that interview that he did was just dreadful.
It looked
awful. She
there is
interrupted. He had a hole in his shirt. He looked miserable in that interview. See, it was so bad, CBS didn't even do the second part of it. That was supposed to be a 2-part interview, and CBS like, we're not coming back for the second part. Because she, I guess, kept interrupting multiple times, and that's why they left that in there. That wasn't a one-time thing, allegedly. That was like 4, 5, 6 times she kept interrupting the interview, and so that's why they left that in to show this is kind of what we're dealing
weird
with right
dynamic.
now. Yeah, it is. It's very weird, and it's very strange. So, Shador, Aaron Rodgers, and Jordan Hudson, man, like those are your 3 football stories going into the season. All compelling.
We need week 1 to get here ASAP.
Yes. Also, the fact that Bill and her never came up with a story of how they met, insane to me.
Well, Bob told you her parents own a novelty shop.
That's true. That's how they met.
How do you know it's not? They won't tell you. So now we've got to, just guess.
Speculate.
Everybody
Aisle
thought.
five.
I thought we had heard all this already. Like
I
they
don't
met
know,
on an airplane. He signed the book for her, and that was the beginning of this
Okay.
relationship.
The 30 for 30 on this is going to be electric.
It's going to be awesome.
Who's yours, Mac?
Mine's Jonathan Bassa.
Who?
For the Chiefs. Bassa.
You just talked about him yesterday.
Linebacker.
Bassa.
Yeah,
out of Oregon?
Bassa out of Oregon. Linebacker. Yeah.
Mitch said he led the senior game in the huddle. He's kind of like the will side linebacker.
Yeah,
like
weak
a
side
Willie Gay.
linebacker, going to kind of take over for Willie Gay. Going to be a guy in coverage that can
You
help
mean
out.
Jeffrey Bassa?
Jeffrey Bassa. I was like, is it the first name that I got? Hey, this is my guy, Jonathan Bassa.
I
No.
love this guy, Jonathan Basso. Who?
Never heard of him.
It's like
Jeffrey.
Jared Lorenzen.
I mean, Jonathan Basso's on LinkedIn right now. I can tell you a little bit about him if you want to know.
What's going on with John?
He can tell you also about, Trevor Lorenzen.
Yeah, exactly. Jared Lorenzen.
Jared Lorenzen.
No, Boss is going to be my guy. I'm going to learn
like
his
it.
first name. And yeah,
That's a good one.
Sideline to sideline linebackers, guys who can cover. Biggest weakness for the Chiefs last year on defense.
Can he run routes? Man, I'm going on the Giants football team.
Woo!
This is a team that's been a laughingstock in the NFL for the last couple of years, and I thought they nailed their draft.
A lot of people did. Yeah.
They got Abdul Carter, where some people will say that, you have to draft. There may not have been any franchise-changing players drafted in this draft. I heard it this morning. I think there was one. I think Abdul Carter could be that guy. Myles Garrett, no matter how you look at it, turned that franchise around in Cleveland. I don't care what anybody has to say about that. They got to the playoffs, and they had the number 1 defense in the league, and that was because they had Myles Garrett. And when you can apply pressure like that at that sort of rate and be that much better than everybody else, you can change a franchise. And if Abdul Carter can be that guy that we all think that he can be, right? Wanted Lawrence Taylor's number. He's like, nah, man, you ain't getting it. Sorry, ain't happening. Warren Moon was like, Cam Ward, I feel bad for you. You can wear number 1. You can be the next guy. That's fine. But Abdul Carter, Jackson Dart, right? First round draft pick. They went and got a quarterback. And then they got Cam Scattaboo. They got everybody's favorite hero running back. You know that guy's going to run somebody over this year. And Giant Blue. People don't hate the Giants like they hate the Jets. Yeah, they're the annoying cousin sometimes, but they had a good draft. They have a quarterback and a quarterback room that is about as interesting as Cleveland's, right? You got Tommy.
I think Cleveland takes the cake on this one, though.
Tommy Cutlets, Jameis Winston, Russell Wilson, Jackson Dart, Joe Flacco, Deshaun Watson, Shedeur Sanders, Kenny Pickett, and Dylan Gabriel.
Watson, yes!
I mean, what situation would you want to be in?
Neither.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Get out of there.
But the Giants are better off. So, I mean, I look forward to seeing what they can do in a division where someone else wins it every year. And maybe there's a chance. Maybe there's a chance in 2 to 3 years the NFC East can get back to what the NFC East is. Washington's doing their job. Hell, Philadelphia, enough said. Dallas will always be entertaining. And then here's the Giants. Good draft. On the come.
Yeah, we'll see. Hopefully it does work out for them. And, Jackson Dart is the real deal. I'd rather have Jackson Dart be the real deal than Abdul Carter, quite honestly. Because if you don't have a quarterback, it doesn't matter who you're playing on defense. And Lawrence Taylor is right. Pick a new number and make that one famous. Like, this is a bad situation to put these greats in. Why are we unretiring numbers? These guys busted their ass to get their number retired. And now because we got a new generation, we're just supposed to unretire numbers? Nah. Pick your own number. Go out there and make that number special.
SAWFT, soft. That's what some people would say. Coming up on the other side.
Who is?
Well, I'm just saying, like, people think that this generation is soft. That's, like, kind of the theory of, like, get your own number. You don't even think I love the homage of the number. Like, I think it's great that CeeDee Lamb rocks 88 in Dallas. That's just me, though. I think it's cool that Warren Moon's like, hey, Cam Ward, here you go.
And then Lawrence Taylor says, go make your own number. And everybody's like, it's a lose-lose situation for him.
That's
I worked
fair.
my ass off. I got this number retired because of what I did. Why should I unretire it for you? You haven't done anything yet in this league.
I think people hate it because it gets taken out of context. I don't think that he's coming across as like a jerk, being like, get your own number, loser. Make your own number famous.
I don't think he's coming across as a jerk either.
But that's how it's reported, is that that's how he's saying it, where it's like, I respect you coming after, 56 and ask me, but you know what? I think you're a stud. I think you can make your own number famous.
Go get 59 and make that famous.
That people report is like, make your own number, geek. Be your own hero. It's like, that's not how he said it.
No, Lawrence Taylor probably said it,
Drinking
drinking or, doing something else.
Hitting slopes.
And probably said, hey, great. I'm glad he wants to wear my number, but go get your own number, man. Make that famous.
Yeah. And then there's Johnny Bossa. Is that his name? Joey Jeffrey?
Bonamassa? What's your guy's name?
John Bonham?
Never heard of him.
Coming up, Sanders jersey sales. Yes, that's Sanders. Those jerseys, not the one that are hanging in Boulder. That one's retired. Here on 96.5 The Fan, your home for Kansas City sports.
Hey, it's Michael Waka, and you're listening to Fescoe and Dusty on your home for Royals baseball. 96.5 The Fan.
I've had a number of surgeries, and frankly, I don't have time to rehab a surgery and an operation at this point in my life. I didn't want to take time off my kids' activities.
That's why former college and pro football player Bobby Carpenter turned to QC Kinetics. We couldn't be happier saving our patients like him from operating rooms and long recoveries.
They will resume like normal activity for me, which is a lot of running. It's a lot of workouts. I've been very, very blessed with how it's been able to hold up.
For so long, patients have accepted surgery as the only solution. But with new technologies, the medical professionals at QC Kinetics use regenerative treatments, your body's own biologics, to help heal and restore knees, hips, shoulders, and backs.
I actually ran into a friend of mine over at our golf course, and he had his knee done. It felt so well. He'd got his shoulder done. He goes, I can't thank you enough. He'd heard the commercial on the air, and so it's feeling great.
Find out how you can avoid surgery and finally get relief. Call QC Kinetics now for your free consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 816-412-6299. That's 816-412-6299. 816-412-6299.
Guys, let's talk about your prostate. If an enlarged prostate has you rushing to the nearest restroom, frustrated and uncomfortable because you need to go but can't, or it's keeping you up at night, it's time to fix it. Clarity Care offers prostate artery embolization. PAE is a simple office treatment that can shrink your prostate and relieve your symptoms so you can get back to enjoying life. No surgery, just relief. Call Clarity Care today or visit kcprostate.com.
I'm sure everyone says this, but my mom really deserves the world. This year, I finally found a Mother's Day gift that comes close. She loves Hellsberg, so I'm getting her these timeless gold earrings she can enjoy for years to come. They feel special enough to show how much I truly appreciate everything she does for me. And I mean everything. I even sent my dad a link to the Diamond Eternity band he'll be getting her, too.
Save up to 50% on Mother's Day gifts Mom will cherish forever. Visit Hellsberg.com or a store near you.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6812. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call
800-575-6812. That's 800-575-6812.
Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
David is a real Prevagen user, and this is his story.
Nice to meet you. My name is David. I've been a pharmacist for 44 years, and I'm from Flowery Branch, Georgia. When I first started taking Prevagen, I noticed stuff just seemed to come together and fit like a jigsaw puzzle. When I have customers come in, I recommend Prevagen. Number one, because it's safe and effective, does not require a prescription, and I've been taking it quite a while myself, and I know it works. I wouldn't recommend something like Prevagen if I didn't think it was worth it because it works so good for me. And I love it when the customers come back in and tell me, David, that really works so good. Makes my day.
Prevagen, at stores everywhere without a prescription. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Testimonialist was compensated for their time.
Buckle up and hang on. This is going to be a good one.
The fans of Kansas Speedway know how to have a good time. One that celebrates fantastic finishes.
Crash together. So close.
And family-friendly facilities. Trading paint.
We got feuding.
And tailgating tradition. Burnouts. Beer. And barbecue. Oh, it'll for sure be a good time. And you are all invited. NASCAR weekend at Kansas Speedway, May 9th through the 11th. Get your tickets now at kansasspeedway.com.
Kansas City, it's time to laugh out loud at Big Slick 2025. Enjoy a night of comedy, music, and shenanigans at the Big Slick Show on May 31st at T-Mobile Center, with all proceeds benefiting Children's Mercy. Will they be shouting? Definitely. Screaming? Yes. Jackhammering? No. But I like the enthusiasm. Tickets are on sale now at bigslickkc.org. Peace and quiet are not invited, but you are. Librarians are also invited, but no shushing, please.
Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Brought to you by Jay's Southland Tow Service, Missouri side, 49 northbound, heavy and peculiar, approaching Jay Highway. For about 2 miles, you're slow. Construction forces you to exit the freeway and then get right back on. Having unexpected car trouble or just in a car accident, call Jay's Southland Tow Service, 816-779-4869 or southlandtow.com. Use the tow service trusted by most local police departments. They can do it all, so be in the know and call Jay's Southland Tow. Alan Carr, 96.5 The Fan, traffic.
Good morning to you all. Hope you're having a good start to your Tuesday. A little bit of a slop pit out there. Good nap day for Mac. Well, he's probably slept in pretty well, so he's probably good. I kid. Bringing up Shedeur Sanders once again because he just never goes away. The NFL released its top 10 selling jerseys from the 2025 NFL draft. Now, I think this original post says in the NFL from, again, ML football, I don't know how much I believe it, but it says breaking. The NFL says that the Browns quarterback, Shedeur Sanders, is the third highest in rookie jersey sales post-draft. Sanders with a 5th-round pick, the most ever for such late-round pick. It's insane. Now, obviously, we know that a lot of people, know who he is, whatever. But he is 3rd on the list of top 10 in jersey sales from a rookie drafted. Number 1 is Travis Hunter. Number 2 is Cam Ward.
I'm surprised Travis Hunter is number 1.
Why?
Well, who the hell's a Jacksonville fan?
Well,
These aren't fans.
Yeah, these are sales of jerseys.
I know, but
you just said people watch sports.
They
for
do.
The athlete.
You're right. You're absolutely right.
So that's the only thing I defend.
Yeah, they're Hunter fans. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
They watched him win the Heisman. They want to see him make history.
I just feel you hear Jacksonville. I'm like,
where's Jackson State?
Mississippi.
Okay, Jackson, Mississippi. That makes sense. I don't know.
Maybe some J. Yeah.
And again, I think Travis Hunter's just because he's a gamer. He's got that population, right? He's in that wave of kids. So, I would say that's there. So, Cam Ward, number 2, just can't win. Cam Ward, I hope he's successful.
Me too.
I really do, because he's not getting any of the publicity that I think that we're all worried about, but we're also not concerned about. Because it's all the pressure's on, Shedeur Sanders and Abdul Carter and Ashton Genty in Vegas. We're not even talking about Genty being in Vegas.
Why is Cam Ward number 2 on that list?
Everybody in Tennessee. Buck Rising's got to have that jersey.
Answer the question, though, in an honest way. Are you willing to invest money in a jersey for Cam Ward?
If you think he is your future at that position, that's a safe jersey to buy. How many people bought a Mahomes jersey year 2 of Patrick Mahomes?
Oh, game 2.
Right. Yeah. Because obviously didn't play his first year. Yeah. So there were probably a lot of people that were this is the future. I'm buying it. I know it. Good for them.
Great.
But then year 2, like you say, game 2, after throwing 10 touchdowns in 2 weeks, you're okay.
All right. I'm
probably
in,
the
right?
number 1 Christmas item that year in 2018 was a Patrick Mahomes jersey.
No doubt.
In this area.
Right, of course.
Right.
And then it exploded nationally at that point in time and internationally. But Mahomes, maybe he was. Go back and look at the top 10 selling rookie jerseys after the draft. I don't know. Maybe Mahomes was up there, but I would attribute that to a fan base that was starving for any quarterback. They could have drafted, Lou Gotts that year, and everybody would have drafted or got his jersey because that's the guy that everybody wanted at a position of need. And so, I'm sorry, man. Cam Ward. Why would you buy that jersey if you're
I bet a lot of people bought Vince Young jerseys in Tennessee.
Vince Young was really good at Texas.
Young was the best quarterback.
And had a aura about him coming in.
But to be fair, Cam Ward has aura. Cam Ward, those videos of him and Shedeur Sanders, football pays me.
I do like that.
Most touchdowns thrown in FBS history. He's got some stuff.
Does he though? It doesn't feel like it.
Yeah, because all we're doing is talking about Shedeur Sanders and Travis Hunter.
There was no hype on Cam Ward.
Of course not.
Coming out of or into or away from the draft, none.
Because it was swallowed up.
Right?
Yeah.
It was all Shedeur Sanders conversation, and rightfully so. He's got a great marketer for a father. And so
also we knew Cam Ward where he was going. There's nothing to talk about. He's going to the Titans. What does there say?
Yeah, that's true.
And not only that, there was a blockbuster trade seconds after he was drafted.
It's sorry guys.
But a jersey is not something that's cheap. It's $200 roughly if you get it, maybe even more if you get the patches and the authenticated one and all that, all that kind of stuff that people spend money on. If you're a Titans fan, are you willing to plunk down the $250 today for that guy's jersey, or do you want to see it play out? And you could say that for any rookie.
Well, I can tell you this: I'd rather be buying a Cam Ward jersey than a brown Shedeur Sanders jersey.
Oh, no question. Yeah. But still, that's where people are, and that's why when people continue to say, "Why is Shedeur Sanders a topic?" Because America is making Shedeur Sanders a topic. They're going out and buying his jersey. That's not ESPN telling you to buy his jersey or the media feeding you a narrative. That's the general public. Now, the general public, for the most part, is really stupid at times. But you go out there and you spend all this money on the Shedeur Sanders jersey, that tells you there's a lot of interest from a lot of people into what this guy's going to do. Investing in a jersey is a bit much for me. He may not make the team.
Dude, I'm rooting for Cam Ward.
Me too.
The unsung hero. Never talked about, slept on, quiet conversations.
When will the NFL realize Cam Ward is in the NFL? Week 8, week 9? Like when will the Cam Ward topics overtake the Shedeur Sanders, Aaron Rodgers narrative? That will be the topic until we play a game.
I'll tell you. May 14th.
Until we play a game. It'll still be the schedule release will still be, Shedeur Sanders is going back to Denver to play the Broncos, or Aaron Rodgers is playing, whatever the case may be. Until we play a game, Aaron Rodgers and Shedeur Sanders are still going to be the two biggest stories in the NFL.
Agreed. He's got to play a game and got to do well. And if he doesn't play well, the story will be, Cam Ward sucks.
Yeah, and people will be waiting to say that.
Yes.
They're waiting for Cam Ward to fail.
Who does the AFC South play, obviously, other than their own division this year? Do we know off the top of our heads?
Because the Chiefs don't play the AFC South.
They play the NFC East. We know that. Obviously, the AFC West. And they have to play the AFC South. Because they played the North last year.
Yep.
They played the East 2 years ago, so they played the South this year.
Mm-hmm.
The Chiefs have the AFC South this year?
So.
Jacksonville?
So when Cam Ward plays against Patrick Mahomes, there you go. I don't know when that game is. It'll be a noon game. That's for sure.
I hope.
Maybe not. I don't know. Maybe we don't play the AFC South. I'm just talking out of my ears.
Oh, yeah. No, it is. Yeah, I remember because it's at the Titans. And I was like, damn, I wonder.
That's right. Yeah.
So that'll be week 1 they play in Brazil on Friday night against the Chargers. That's what we're throwing out there?
Yeah, well,
we're all safe.
That's fine.
Okay. Yeah, okay. We'll say that's week 1.
If it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen.
If it does, right? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm not trying to be hateful. Yeah. I hope you know that.
Yeah.
No,
I'm just saying, but week 2 screams an AFC South opponent at noon. On the road.
Yep. No, it's
but you'll be at
where
home.
the Royals playing.
So I guess week 3, because they probably go away then home.
Yeah, right. Because they have the whole week 2. They go at home, right?
Yeah.
Where are the Royals playing?
I don't know. There's a schedule behind Mac.
Because that does matter. If the Royals are at home that day, the Chiefs are not. I think if I'm not mistaken, if the Chiefs open on the road in Brazil, I think they have to play week 2 on the road as well. Because I think the Royals are away that week. So I don't know that they could be home until week 3, if I'm not mistaken.
I don't know when the exact schedule starts, so it's hard for me to tell, but they're away the week of the 12th.
They are away, the Royals are? Okay, so then they could be home for that one.
But then again, the season could start September 9th on that Thursday night.
Well, whatever that first Monday in September is what, the 2nd?
Mm-hmm.
The 1st.
The 1st, so that's Labor Day.
Yep.
So the season will start September 4th.
Yeah, the Royals will be home that week. They're gone the next week.
Right, they're gone the next week, yeah. So you start on the road in Brazil on a Friday night, and then you come home and you have your home opener.
Yeah, why not have it at noon against Cam Ward?
I'm fine with
But
that.
you have to play at Tennessee, so it won't be them. And then some heartbreaking news. I don't know if this was true that I sent you guys yesterday because everybody wants Royals to wear 85. Doesn't look like 85 was available.
Damn.
Who wears 85?
I don't know. I sent you that text. It said, I've said available numbers to have for rookies to use, and 85 was not on the list.
So I ask who's wearing 85.
Yeah, we got to change that.
Because if it's Slappy McSlapperson, who the hell cares? That guy's losing his number.
Yeah. I don't know who wears 85 for the Chiefs.
Is it Jody Fortson? You're going to hear from the Fortson Army? That's Jody Fortson's number.
Watch it be like Jared Wiley. That's why nobody knows.
Could be.
He's been out all year and he already has his number.
Yeah, we can change this around.
Who is it?
Anthony Fersker.
Who?
Ferkser.
Never heard of him.
You want to go to break after that one?
Yeah, okay. Ferkser's keeping his number, sure. Hey, Anthony, get down here. You're losing your number or your roster spot. You choose.
Because we can make a lot of money if this guy wears your number.
Yeah.
Hello.
Anthony Ferkser?
Ferkser. You had that on your bingo card. Never heard of him. Coming on the other side, Start, Bench, Cut. Brought to you by Jay Southland Till. You're listening to Fescoe and Dusty on 96.5 The Fan. You're home for Kansas City Sports.
Fescoe and Dusty. Subscribe and watch the show on YouTube by going to our channel at The Fan 96.5, Kansas City's FM sports station. 96.5 The Fan.
You had a solid retirement dream. Sell your home in a few years, bank the equity, downsize, and travel. But with an unpredictable economy and the future feeling uncertain, you're wondering if that equity will still be there when you're ready. But what if you could bank that equity right now? With TrueHold, you could sell your home for its current value so you can access your equity today. You can bank the cash now and stay in the home you love with an easy standard lease. TrueHold even covers property taxes, insurance, and repairs. And since TrueHold hands over your equity in cash now, it's yours to do whatever you'd like. Don't let a shifting economy put your hard-earned equity at risk. Visit TrueHold.com and receive their competitive offer on your home in just 48 hours based on its best current value, not what's coming. Call 1-855-300-9393 or visit TrueHold.com. The smarter, faster way to cash out on your home's value without moving. That's TrueHold.com.
Underdog just became one of the best places to make entries during the basketball playoffs with their Extender promo. With the Extender, you can play your way into increasingly bigger boosts each round of the playoffs. Start a playoff series by using your Game 1 boost and continue boosting each subsequent game to unlock the next one. The longer the series, the bigger the boosts. Underdog is now available to play in Missouri, and their app has over 100,000 five-star reviews and millions of players. All you have to do is download the app and choose whether a player will go higher or lower on one of their stats, and you can mix and match across other sports like I like to do. Download the Underdog app and sign up with promo code BOB to unlock a special offer of up to $1,000 in bonus cash when you make your first deposit. That's promo code BOB. Must be 18 and over and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. See assets.underdogfantasy.com/web/extend.html for details. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.ncpgambling.org.
At Shane Company, we know getting engaged is a big decision. But once you know, you know. That's the way our customers feel when they choose a Shane Company engagement ring. They walk into a warm welcome and walk out with their dream ring, knowing they got it right. For almost 100 years, we've been offering personalized shopping experiences. And we're in it way past the honeymoon, with a free lifetime warranty that includes the center stone, cleanings, repairs, and resizing for life. Shop with us at shaneco.com or at your neighborhood store. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
The Other Place, Shawnee, Olathe, downtown Overland Park, Mission, and Belton have lots of big screens, great food, and beer specials. Plus, patio season is coming up soon. The Other Place is your home for baseball this spring. The Other Place and theotherplace.com.
One of life's greatest mysteries has finally been solved.
Who let the dogs out? Spruce, spruce, spruce.
It's Spruce, the new hard-working, worry-free weed and grass killer that's safe for use around people and pets. When used as directed, spray the leaves for visible results in just 1 hour and dead weeds in just 1 day. You spray, they play. Weeds die by the next day. Find Spruce wherever weed killers are sold.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance specialist for university housing, he knows college students can major in wear and tear. Plus, housing so many students doesn't leave a lot of room to house all the supplies he needs. That's where Grainger comes in. With over 1 million industrial-grade products and fast, dependable delivery, Grainger carries the quality products he needs so he doesn't have to. From a new door hinge to a whole new faucet. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Brought to you by the technicians you can trust with your house keys. Anthony Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electric. On the Missouri side of Peculiar, 49 northbound shut down at J Highway with construction scheduled till noon. They force you to go through the service road intersection. You've got about 2 miles of slow traffic to get through all that. Money back guarantees and parts and labor warranties mean you aren't just buying products. You are securing your investment. For a limited time, receive a free furnace when you purchase an AC. Schedule your complimentary proposal online at anthonyphc.com. Alan Carr, 96.5 The Fan. Traffic.
Hey, it's Cole Riggins, and this is 96.5 The Fan, your home for Royals baseball.
KFNC FM and AM, HD1 and HD2, Kansas City, and Odyssey Sports Station.
Nine o'clock hour here on Fescoe and Dusty. Mac Morning with you as well on your gloomy Tuesday, but it's sunshine and rainbows and flowers at the Fescoe and the Morey household, that's for sure. It is Tuesday, so hopefully you're all enjoying your second day of the week. I always feel like once you get past Tuesday, it's easy street. I don't know why that is for me. Maybe that's our schedule. Maybe that's just the way we do things here. But I know tomorrow's the middle of the week. Then by the time the show's tomorrow is over, I know Maller's going to join us on Thursday, and then you get to Friday, and everything's just like blinders.
Yeah, it's getting through Monday and Tuesday. It really is, yeah.
And this Monday was, loaded with just draft content and Shador Sanders. And this Tuesday at 9 o'clock is loaded with Start Bench Cut.
Here's Fescoe, Dusty, and Mac with this week's edition of Start Bench Cut.
That's right. Start Bench Cut brought to you by Jay Southland Tow Service. 913-586-7965. Feel free to get engaged and involved as well. We started off with Fescoe, Walter Pennington, Josh Willingham.
Cut them all.
Oh. Yeah, you cut Fescoe, you have 85 available.
Fescoe ain't making this team.
No, Fescoe's not making this team. And it was him and Tanyan who both even shared that number. They were both in and out of the roster. Robert Tanyan.
Oh, we remember Robert Tanyan.
Yeah, Robert Tanyan.
We do?
Bob Tanyan.
Yeah.
I don't know that I know him. What did he do?
He doesn't have a pretzel named after him, that's for sure.
No, he doesn't.
I also noticed I need to get with Maloney on this because there's a Big Bob's store next to the landing.
Oh,
there is?
Mm-hmm. It's like flooring repair. It's like Big Bob's, and I'm like, whose Big Bob's pretzel is it?
Oh, yeah. Well, it does have my name on there and says Bob Fescoe of 96.5. The fan likes these pretzels, so.
And that theory is completely crushed as there's never any fun on this show. We move on to Start Bench Cut. Jersey, hat, or Shurzy?
Start the hat, bench the Shurzy, cut the jersey.
I'll cut the Shurzy. I'll bench the jersey.
And start the hat.
I'll start the hat.
We're all there. The hat starts over everything.
A1.
The hat's the best purchase of a team.
It's the easiest. It's the nicest. It's the cleanest. It's
quick.
Doesn't go out of style.
Yep, most designs.
And most come back in style.
It's true.
And
you have to worry about a player leaving.
That's why I always tell people, like, what jersey should I buy? Mahomes or Kelsey? Oh, I really want a Chris Jones one.
I really want that Fescoe jersey.
Well, you want that 85 Royals one. You got to get that Fescoe one out of here. We go to the NFL draft of quarterbacks that were drafted. Start, bench, cut. Cam Ward, Jackson Dart, Shador Sanders.
Right in that order.
I'll switch Sanders and Dart.
You think Dart's going to be good?
No, I think I'm cutting Dart.
Oh, cut Sanders. I'm sorry.
Yeah, start Ward. I'll bench Sanders. I'll cut Dart.
Yeah, I mean,
just based on talent.
It's not about talent anymore.
No, yeah.
Pick 144 of the draft, brother. God, he went so low.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's his talent that's why he went low.
Nope.
No,
I definitely don't think that.
I'd rather have a guy with the reverse. I'd rather have a less talented guy and a humble guy than a braggadocious guy with okay talent.
Yeah, you want Chad Pennington. Which, I mean, I guess he's somewhat successful in the NFL when he was in there.
Yeah, okay, right?
I mean, I guess. I don't know.
Cleveland would beg for him, you know?
It's true. Yeah, right now. Well, they have him. His name is Joe Flacco.
Man, he's the best trade availability that they have, too.
Pittsburgh would beg for him. That's for damn sure.
When you're Cleveland, I don't think you're trading him to Pittsburgh, but, you know.
They got another guy that's up for a trade if you want him, but he's got a lot of money in his bag you got to pick up as well, and he sucks.
Yeah, but
that's it.
I mean, nobody's seriously, like,
I don't know,
considering
man.
that guy,
He'll
right?
never play it down, right?
Is that owner of Cleveland going to buy another franchise?
Phew. I don't know. I never say never in the NFL. That's one thing I've learned.
Are you starting Ward?
Yes.
Okay. So same order, kind of?
I'm starting Ward. I'm benching Sanders and cutting Dart.
Gotcha.
Like, I think Sanders was pick 144 out of spite. I think there's still talent there. I don't think it's a fifth-round talent. I think it might have been a third to a fourth-round talent. But I think that sometimes you can be a poison of your own self. And if, like, you let yourself get in the way of your talent, you will not make it. And that's the biggest question we have now. Because now Cleveland has a complete sideshow for a backup quarterback. And that's something I don't think I would ever want on my franchise.
Or a third-string quarterback, for that matter. Or
like,
a practice squad guy.
Yeah. Like, imagine if, like, Gardner Minshew came over with baggage and he was more talked about and more thought about than Patrick Mahomes. It'd be like, there's no chance, dude. Like, that ain't going to work. Like, you know it's not going to work. It won't work in Cleveland, but he'll go somewhere and someone will take a a rally on Shedeur Sanders eventually someday.
When you don't have a starter, that backup quarterback's the most popular guy in town.
Mm-hmm. He will be the most popular guy in town in about whenever he shows up. You had mentioned you had Dairy Queen last night, so I bring up the most famous question of ice cream lovers. The cone, the cup, or the waffle cone?
Start the cup, bench the cone, cut the waffle cone. I'm there for the ice cream.
Mm-hmm. You don't like the crunch? Yeah. I like the bottom of that, like original cone. That when you get to the very like the drumstick part, I think I start the original cone, bench the waffle, get rid of the cup. Now the cup is the best way to eat ice cream. A la helmet, same thing. Very easy, very clean. You know, you're not getting dirty. Very OCD with hand stuff. I'm almost like a Howie Manziel guy.
Who?
Howie Manziel.
Johnny's brother?
Or not Manziel. Howie Mandel. Is it Mandel?
Mandel, yes.
Mandel. Man, just getting jumped on with names today. I go cup or I go cone, the original, the waffle too. Like that waffle cone at Cold Stone.
Yes. I love Cold Stone.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, I'll start the waffle. I'll bench the cone and I'll cut the cup. I'm there for the crunch. I'm a little bit different than you, Bob.
That's cool. I'm there for the ice cream.
Yeah, I get you.
Moving on to heels of sports leagues, because Dylan Brooks last night was well advertised as a heel. Jimmy Butler's throwing jabs at him, and then there's 3 technical fouls on one play. Jazz Chisholm, Dylan Brooks, Jamar Chase.
I'm starting Chase. I'm benching Chisholm, and I don't know who that third guy is. So,
you go, Dusty. I'm having trouble
for best heels for start bench cut.
That's what we're doing. Best heels. Okay.
Dylan Brooks is number 1. I think Jazz Chisholm is number 2, just because he plays for the Yankees. Nobody cares about the Bengals except for one guy who does a show from 10 to 2 as a producer named Drew Nixon.
I'd love to see them fail.
And Dylan Brooks has been doing this for a while, and I think Jazz Chisholm being a Yankee and being the way that
Is he
was
good enough to be a heel, though?
You don't have to be good to be a heel. Russell Wilson's a heel and he sucks.
Russell Wilson also went to 2 Super Bowls. Russell Wilson's had a lot of
really
success in the NFL.
I'm talking about right now, though. I'm not talking 10 years ago. And I think that Dylan Brooks isn't good.
I think Jazz Chisholm is too irrelevant, really, to be a heel right now.
Okay.
I wish he came last year.
Yeah, I wish he was a bigger one, but
who's the heel in baseball?
It's a good question.
It's Jazz Chisholm.
I don't know that that's a universal feeling at all. I really don't. I don't know who.
Yeah, maybe there
is.
isn't one right now.
Maybe
He'd
there
be
isn't
mine.
one. And that's okay if there isn't one right now. You can't force it, right? It just has to happen naturally. And I don't know if baseball. I mean, the heels in baseball have always been the guys who are on steroids, basically, right?
Yeah, that's a good point. There's the bet.
I mean, you could have the Dodgers as your heel because they spend money, but also I would rather have the Marlins as my heel or the Pirates because they don't spend money. So I think it's just all about how you look at it and how you judge it. And I think there has to be some sort of success. I think Belichick was the heel because he was successful and he was arrogant, And he's trending that way in college.
You go on to yard work because, Mac, did you end up mowing yesterday?
I did
Good
it.
for you.
Yep, got out there.
Start bench cut, weed eating, hedge trimming, blowing the shavings and the leaves with the leaf blower.
Oh, that's the best part is the blowing of the shavings of the leaves. I'm starting that.
Is it the satisfactory that you get when it goes off your driveway? Yeah, it's nice.
And then it's right back.
Yep, of course.
So I'm going to go the blowing of the shavings of the leaves, weed eating number 2, and then hedge trimming number 3.
Yeah, I agree. Although hedge trimmer, still need one of those. That and a saw. Yeah.
I don't have a saw. I don't think I'm trusted to use a saw.
I am either.
We go to something that fits our style of lives pretty often on the weekends. When you're trying to let loose, how do you rank them? Start, bench, cut. Friday night, Saturday afternoon, little Sunday brunch.
Right in that order.
Really? Okay. I'll switch the Saturday afternoon and Friday night. I'll start Saturday afternoon.
I do like a nice little 1:30, 2 o'clock start on Saturday, done by 7.
Exactly. Yes.
And then you got Sunday to relax and take. But I do love a Sunday brunch.
Oh, Sunday brunch is fantastic.
Get after it with mimosas.
Yes, Hannah would
Friday
start
night's
that.
so nice because you've done the whole week, and then you can
so you're done.
Yeah,
you're done.
That's fair.
This is Saturday. You're looking back on Friday, going, "I wish it was Friday." Friday night, you're never really wishing it was anything else other than Friday night.
Start, bench, cut. Since Raw was in Kansas City last night, WWE Raw was there. Would you rather start, bench, or cut, being a face, a heel, or a mid-card guy?
I want to be the heel. Start the
Yeah,
heel.
I think you want to start the heel,
Yeah,
right?
I'm going to start the heel.
And then you want to be the face.
Yeah, face.
And then the mid guy's like, nobody really
Yeah,
knows who
yeah.
that is.
Feel bad for the mid guy, yeah.
Yeah, like Cody and Alex, right? I kid.
Oh, my Lord. And with that, we will end it there. That is Stark Bench Cut, brought to you by Jay Southland Tow Service. Coming up on the other side, it's our guy we get to tap into about the draft and other things concerning the NFL. It's one Joshua Briscoe, who joins us here on Fescoe and Dusty on 96.5 The Fan, your home for Kansas City sports.
Hey, it's Bobby Witt Jr., and you're listening to Fescoe and Dusty on your home for Royals baseball, 96.5 The Fan.
Well, I'll tell you, we're talking about all that yard work and whatnot. Man, the guys over at Aspen Lawn and Pest Control have done an unbelievable job on my lawn, and I can't stress it enough. Our lawn was bad. There were weeds everywhere. We had 2 big trees that had been there for 20 or 30 years that had roots in the ground that were sucking all the water out of our lawn. I'm like, I just don't know what to do anymore. And the folks over at Aspen Lawn and Pest Control came out, and after they went through a good laugh and a good chuckle about how bad our lawn was, they go, we got this. We'll take care of this. It'll be no problem at all. And it has been awesome since. It's been about a month now since they first came out, and they put down the fertilizer, they put down the pre-emergent, all that kind of stuff. I have no dandelions. I have no weeds. I've just got a green lawn in front of my house that even my kids are raving about, and they're teenagers, and they're never impressed with anything. The guys over at Aspen Lawn and Pest Control have done an awesome job, and those college-educated professionals are going to put that mosquito dome over our house in a couple of weeks, and we're not going to have any of those outdoor bugs to deal with all spring and summer long. The mosquitoes will be gone, the fleas, the ticks, history as well when they put that mosquito dome over the house. So they've been serving Kansas City since 1985, and they'll give you up to half off your first application when you mention this ad. So don't wait. Call them today, or better yet, just visit them at aspenlawn.com. That's aspenlawn.com.
Men, here's the truth. In the bedroom, good enough isn't really good enough, is it? This is Jeff for Heartland Men's Health. And if your erectile dysfunction is making intimacy less enjoyable for you and your partner, give us a call today. Because whether your ED only happens sometimes or all the time, it's time to stop good enough and time to start really good. At Heartland Men's Health, we're experts in treating ED. Whether it's only mild or moderate, or even if it's severe, our treatments have success rates of well over 90%. And because we have a variety of treatments and can even combine protocols, we can likely get you performing like you haven't in a long time. You could even last up to an hour or more and make sex great again for you and your partner. So make an appointment and be done with good enough. Your initial visit is just $99 and includes blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 844-447-6600. That's 844-447-6600. Or go to heartlandmenshealth.com. We have 3 offices to serve you.
New Harley-Davidson Street Glides under $265 a month at Rawhide Harley. Ride out for under $265 a month on a new Street Glide at Rawhide Harley-Davidson.
Payments based on Street Glide model and base color with 30% down, 96-month term, 6.99% APR with approved credit. Doesn't include brake setup, tax, title, and license fees. See dealer for details.
Some people just know they could save hundreds on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Like, to check you have your phone first, before the cab pulls away.
Hey, thanks, man. No, wait, my phone, come back! It's got my boarding pass, credit cards, phone numbers, my life, come back!
Checking first is smart. So check Allstate first for a quote that could save you hundreds. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Savings vary, subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Oh, these polymers aren't as flexible as batch K3.
Researcher Laurie is stretched thin.
Did you get the vulcanization analytics from V66? Wait, are these rubber scores from last week?
She needs to hire new lab technicians so she can bounce back into her old self.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Our matching platform lets you spend less time searching and more time connecting with candidates. Redeem your $75 credit at Indeed.com/credit. Terms and conditions apply.
This is a story of the one. As a maintenance specialist for university housing, he knows college students can major in wear and tear. Plus, housing so many students doesn't leave a lot of room to house all the supplies he needs. That's where Grainger comes in. With over 1 million industrial-grade products and fast, dependable delivery, Grainger carries the quality products he needs so he doesn't have to. From a new door hinge to a whole new faucet. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
At Napa, we've spent the last 100 years building our business into an engine that powers yours. Whether you're big or small, national or local, Napa has the automotive solutions your business needs to stay moving. And it's all driven by a nationwide network of quality parts and exceptional service on one mission: to keep your business moving full speed ahead. That's why we are the pros that know.
Some people follow the rules, but where's the fun in that? I'm Soraya, and this is Rule Breakers, the podcast where we celebrate the rebels, the risk takers, and the ones who make their own way. Every week, I sit down with the boldest voices in sports, entertainment, and beyond to talk about breaking barriers, defying expectations, and rewriting the rules. No limits, no apologies, just real talk. Follow and listen to Rule Breakers with Soraya, an Odyssey podcast available now for free on the Odyssey app and wherever you get your podcasts.
Why do other agents have such a hard time selling your property? It's because they don't know how to price it correctly. But we know someone who does. Dawn Sharp and her team. Experience the Dawn Sharp team difference for yourself. The Sharp Homes team can give you options. Do you want to skip the showings and open houses and go straight to sold? Contact them to discuss their instant offer program. Contact the only agent I would trust if I needed to sell my home. It's Dawn Sharp with the Sharp Homes team, brokered by Epic Realty. Google them at Sharp Homes Team or pay them a visit at homesforsaleandkc.com.
Today, expect mostly cloudy skies with a high of 67. Weather brought to you by Robert Half. Our recruiters' expertise and award-winning AI will find you the skilled candidates you want. At Robert Half, we know talent. Visit roberthalf.com/talent today.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the Mission Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling Studios.
Somebody says the umpires are the heel in baseball. Those are the bad, evil people in baseball. Not far from it. The heel in baseball is also the owners.
That's a good one.
And then somebody says Rendon or Garrett Cole. Are either one playing currently?
Garrett Cole's out for the year. I don't know about Rendon.
Rendon's he's on that Kirk Cousins contract flex.
Well, yeah, that's kind of why he's a heel, because he's just a douche.
Got all that money.
Got all the money.
Played.
He's like, I'm good here. I'm not going to play again. What do you mean you're not going to play? Hey, you're going to play. We paid you all this money. Get your ass out there and play.
No doubt about it. We are now joined by Josh Briscoe to talk about all things NFL draft and maybe the future of this NFL team. We're not here to ask for grades. You're not a professor, but I do want to ask how you feel going into May with the new arrivals on this Chiefs roster, Mr. Briscoe.
I feel pretty good about the Chiefs. I'm hearing myself in my headphones right now, which is actually perfect. So I was going to say, I think my brain is oatmeal. That's what I feel like now. Like I'm hearing myself, and I've been hearing echoes of drafts names, and I slept finally well last night. So I have recovered, and I feel like the Chiefs have recovered in some really key ways here too.
Which key way? Let's start there. Where did they recover?
Well, I think the most obvious thing is I know I was on with Cody and Gold on Friday. I know Bink is not going to join us on this one.
No.
But I think they have solved the question of what is the long-term plan at left tackle. And with the Josh Simmons pick, I understand the risk. And truly, I understand where Bink's coming from. I understand seeing that pick and your first reaction being, okay, don't love it, but we'll see where he goes. Here's the thing, though, with Simmons. He really, truly, and I think a lot of people know this by now, he would have been the first or second tackle off the board without the injury. Right. Now, the Chiefs don't get to draft a guy who wasn't injured, right? Like, they still have to play in that alternate universe. He's not a Kansas City Chief. But when you have that opportunity to get a guy with that sort of ceiling, the type of risk... The type of risk matters, but it doesn't move me entirely. Like, go back 2 years to Felix Anudike-Uzomah at 31 overall. That was a selection that had a risk of development. Of let's take this really young kid who's taken one big jump and bet that he can do it again at the NFL level. Well, he has a red shirt year and then kind of a semi sort of working your way into the rotation year too. That was a different type of risk. Xavier Worthy was too small to be a top 10 or 15 pick. You're taking the risk that he'll have a long, healthy NFL career, and I think that was a wise risk there too. So there's always going to be a real risk. I think once you get outside the top 10 and sometimes even higher than that, I'm really comfortable with Simmons' risk and the way the Chiefs' process came through there. So that's the one I'm the most excited about. Obviously, it's the most premium pick, and I think it's going to be really fun to follow. Even if it's not the best case scenario, the process was good and the player is excellent.
Well, I think also, too, the Chiefs are afforded to be in that position, Josh, with all the work that they've put in over the, decade of establishing themselves as an organization where you have that opportunity. How many teams would love to be in that position where the Chiefs are? I don't want to use it to take a flyer because he's a hell of a player if he's healthy, but how many teams are capable of even being able to be in the position to do something like that? The Chiefs are one of the few.
And really, it's kind of funny to think back to last year when the Chiefs might not have been one of those teams in retrospect, right? Like, what I think the biggest reason they can do this year is Jalen Moore's existence. And I know, like, that's a decent chunk of money, and I think, obviously, the plan is for him to be your starting left tackle this year. And then next year, best case scenario, you got Josh Simmons forcing his way onto the field, and Jalen Moore is an above-average right tackle in 2026, if that's where you go. But thinking about the fact that you have Moore as your incumbent now, as opposed to going into this time last year, it was, okay, well, it's Wanye Morris versus Kingsley Suamataia. People were talking about David Bakhtiari maybe getting added to the training camp roster. This is still night and day from where they were last year, when obviously that position haunted them throughout the season. They have two better investments now in Jalen Moore and Josh Simmons than they had with the left tackle position last year with the combo of Kingsley and Wanye.
Keeping it with the combo, Josh, they brought back Kareem Hunt, and of course they have Isaiah Pacheco. Got a running back in the 7th round. I think a lot of us, myself included, were thinking a little bit higher is where they would select the running back class. But what's your thoughts on the kid from SMU and pick at the 7th round pick?
You should know, I really had a rough 2020 draft cycle as I was really kind of solidifying my stance in the sort of running backs don't matter kind of space. And then the Chiefs take Clyde Edwards-Helaire, and I had I had an upsetting couple of weeks as many of my very wrong takes became very, very evident, right? That's where I've kind of been evolving over these last 5 years. Obviously, the Clyde pick backfires for the Chiefs. And then even as last year goes around, I think there's been a little bit of a misrepresentation now of like the idea that running backs don't matter. The idea is that there are a lot of really good running backs. And look, man, I grew up a Chiefs fan. I grew up on Priest Holmes and Larry Johnson and Jamal Charles. Like, those were the stars. You know, Tony Gonzalez, don't want to leave him out. But this was a running football franchise here. Last year, you see them just kind of cobble it together. So I, as a bit of a running backs don't matter dork, even I was there on day 3 going, all right, well, I'd take DJ Giddens here, or I'd take Martinez here, I'd take Devin Neal here. And they just kept going and going and going and going. And if they would have left that draft class without Brashard Smith, who I think might have been one of the last 1 or 2 running backs on the board, who kind of felt like he had a little more juice than just whatever UDFA you'd see in the offseason, I am now totally back at ease because of Brashard Smith. I think he has a skill set and also, very importantly, a rookie contract that this depth chart really, really needed. I think he has a chance to contribute early. I think it's a smart bet. I think the skill set is fun, and he has a little more juice for this running back room. Plus, I think the Chiefs are telling you they think Isaiah Pacheco is going to look much, much better not rushing back from the ankle injury. I still wouldn't have minded them going running back in even the 4th or 5th round. I'm really glad they ended up with Jalen Royals, though. I would not have minded an earlier investment in running back, but ultimately my concerns were pretty well soothed by Brashard Smith in the 7th.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one. I really like that pick in the 7th round because I'm with you. I'm not a huge running back guy, and to invest money or a high draft pick in a running back still, in my opinion, is fool's gold, because just because a couple of guys were good last year doesn't mean we have to change the entire position that we've been looking at for the last decade and go, okay, now we need to spend on this position. So they found Isaiah Pacheco in the 7th round. They, who's to say this guy can't be the next, if you will, obviously not the same player, but Isaiah Pacheco, where you found a running back in the 7th round that turned into a big-time contributor for you. And with Andy Reid, who's to stop him?
And they kind of keep doing similar things elsewhere structurally, where you're kind of saying maybe Elijah Mitchell's Jerick McKinnon-ish, right? And Jerick McKinnon maybe he'll be Damian Williams-ish. I think that there's a strategy of numbers, of volume there, where you do still have to inject fresh talent, right? That's why I wanted to see somebody in the room. Because if you just said, yeah, we're going to just throw the numbers at it, and it's exactly last year, plus maybe Elijah Mitchell will be on the field. Maybe. We'll find out. Now there is that feeling of, hey, here's one new ingredient. Plus Pacheco's healthy. Plus Kareem Hunt will be here in training camp and not have to have whatever it was, 27 or 28 carries in his first game back. So I think it is a coherent group. It's not a super exciting room, but I think the Chiefs just need to have a varied skill set. The logic they sold on that Clyde pick 5 years ago was, hey, here's one guy who can be on the field all 3 downs. And I understood the vision for that, but that's very, very rare. Like you mentioned, Bob, and I think it's a good point. we shouldn't be recalibrating our entire strategy here because Saquon Barkley and Derrick Henry went to really good teams with really good running games and really good quarterbacks and had unbelievable seasons. They deserve a ton of credit for that, but those are even more exceptional than some of the other running back conversations we've been having in previous years. A bad team will not be saved by a running back. A great team can be aided by a great running back. But if you're going to go ahead and say, all right, Josh, well, you tell me, would you rather have Devin Neal in the 4th and a 7th-round wide receiver, or Jalen Royals in the 4th and Brashad Smith in the 7th? I'm taking option B, no doubt.
I'm with you on that, too. I like Royals, man. What's your thought on him?
It's sort of refreshing that they found a wide receiver who mostly plays on the outside, and they said, hey, you know what? I think we have a role for him. That's the thing for me where I know I get too excited about a rookie wide receiver because they've really hit on Rashee Rice and Xavier Worthy, and even they take 8, 9, 10, 12 weeks to kind of really fully get in the mix. So I don't want to tell you that Jalen Royals is going to be the outside wide receiver starting in week 1 because I want to say that. But he seems to me like a guy whose game is going to translate pretty well. He doesn't have one of those like super overwhelming physical traits that makes you a first-round pick, or even Rashee Rice is a second-rounder with the ball in his hands. But I think Jalen Royals was much closer to a second or third-round prospect, a legitimate day 2 prospect who, again, can be that outside receiver, or at least that's the goal here, right? You have all these players who are really good in the slot and different types of guys who are really excellent out of the slot, like Rashee Rice, like Xavier Worthy. You also need to continue to build that room up in the future. Rashee Rice only has 2 years left on his rookie contract. I know that feels crazy, but he's coming back off this injury. He's probably going to have a suspension. You've got to keep investing in that spot. I really like doing that with Royals.
When you look at this team going into next year, I think there's going to be a lot of similarities in the offense that we saw last year as into this year. Like, I know there's, a lot of us that want to see that 2018-19 offense that was electric and explosive and historic. But it seems like they almost have it figured out with chaotic routes that work for them, and they just keep moving the chains, and they want to win games 21-14, 21-17. Is there going to be a difference or an uptick in offense in this year, or do you have anything that says it's not?
I think we have evidence that there will be at least stylistic differences, because I think that was plan A last year. I mean, think back to training camp and all of the Hollywood downfield routes, and look at Xavier Worthy making Matt Nagy dance on the field, right? Like, that was kind of the vibe of the offense before the injury started falling. So I don't want to give you sunshine and roses. Only thing that's ever going to happen is the best case scenario, because that's not how the NFL works. But if you do think back to how much of that season was without Rashee Rice and Hollywood Brown, and you think about adding both of them back in as contributors now too, in place of DeAndre Hopkins or as much as Juju Smith-Schuster played, or Justin Watson even, I do think that there is a talent increase from last year, but I am saying that about a healthy roster right now by and large. The other thing is I even wonder what last year's offense looks like if left tackle is average. And I think Jalen Moore will be average if Josh Simmons isn't healthy out of the gate and doesn't push for that job in training camp. I wouldn't rush him. I just think there's like a 30% chance that that's happening. If it's Jalen Moore for 17 regular season games, or however many he can play, I think that boosted this offense. I think Jalen Royals is a nice investment for the back half of the season and playoff time. But ultimately, if Rashee Rice is back and healthy, if Hollywood Brown looks like the guy the Chiefs thought they signed the first time, this offense will be pretty significantly better in my book.
And I'm with you on the left tackle spot. That was the reason why, for the most part, last year they couldn't get things going. Obviously, the injuries are going to be a factor, and it really does show you how good Patrick Mahomes is, that he could take all those injuries that you just mentioned, still go 15-2, and still go to the Super Bowl, and still avoid a left tackle position that was absolutely disgusting last year. Now you're going into the year, and if you're just competent at that left tackle, the rest of the league should be scared, because Patrick Mahomes can do great things if he has some time.
Well, I think that's kind of the connective tissue of what both of you guys just said that I've been keeping in mind throughout this entire draft process, and I know Brett Veach is keeping this in mind. I know the Chiefs have been having this conversation internally, but part of the reason, not even part, an enormous part of the reason the Chiefs have had all of this success in recent years boils down to simply having Patrick Mahomes play quarterback.
Right.
He can cover up a bunch of your warts. You can have a crummy left tackle. You can have your top 2 wide receivers go down within the first few weeks of the season. You can have your number 1 running back go down, and he can drag you all the way to an AFC West championship, an AFC championship, and a Super Bowl, doing that with him and Travis Kelce and Steve Spagnuolo and Andy Reid putting their heads together. But That's also true in a better case scenario, where if you have a really good offense, if the circumstances are quarterback friendly, if you have a lot of weapons and an offensive line that can protect your quarterback, I believe we will see again Patrick Mahomes raise that level from a very good offense to the rocket ship flying through space that we saw earlier on. So it's harder now because Mahomes' contract isn't on a rookie deal, and they're paying a lot of guys on the defense, and they continue to invest in defense in the draft, which is wise to continue doing. But if you can get that place back to just where the surroundings and the supporting cast is good to very good, Patrick Mahomes will make you elite. If the supporting circumstances are crummy, he'll make you AFC West champions because he's a magician. But I'm hoping that they don't have to have Patrick Mahomes keep living that way. I know that this draft, this offseason, is another reinvestment in trying to solve that problem.
So somebody that's not in Kansas City, what was your sort of take now that it's Tuesday and it's finally gotten a little bit more rest on the whole Shedeur Sanders slide?
Yeah, it was interesting on a bunch of levels, right? I think step one was that, like, he was never in the real top 5 pick conversation for the league, right? Like, there was a little bit of the media inflation of, well, we know this guy, we know this guy's dad, and this is like maybe the most visible college football program in the country right now. Not most successful, most visible. But you see all of that, and that's something that can raise your stock. Being a quarterback can raise your stock. And I think as we've seen now a little bit of the reporting and hearing a little bit these last couple of days, I kind of buy into the idea that, I can't remember who phrased it this way, but I kind of buy into the idea that he and his camp were kind of treating them as recruiting visits rather than job interviews. And I don't think that that's just like he has a bad attitude, we don't want him in the building kind of deal. I don't think he was getting blackballed or anything like that. But I can understand being an NFL team at a couple of levels and going, yeah, well, we don't really see the vision for him as our franchise quarterback. I don't know I love him as our developmental second string kind of guy. I would understand that logic coming together. NFL teams have used that before. And I also still think there were probably, 3 or 4 teams that should have taken him 2 or 3 rounds earlier. The Steelers still should have taken him with one of those picks before Cleveland did. Cleveland, I'm not sure I understand, but I understand the slide. I think a team should have stopped it before the 5th round, right? Unbelievable that he made it to day 3, even, frankly. But a really interesting little case study in a very unique process.
It really just goes to show you, too, Josh, how much people think what the media is making up on their draft boards is exactly what NFL, talent evaluators are thinking, too.
Right, and it's kind of interesting because sometimes you see, I think the last few years, a lot of those big, consensus boards, Arif Hassan and his Substack, was called Wide Left. He's the one that puts together a bunch of those big boards to come up with the consensus boards. That's what almost makes the Shedeur thing even more interesting, is the consensus boards have been getting really, really good publicly over the years, but Shedeur was still inflated over everybody else, even though a lot of these analysts were saying, he's like my player 25 or something. Obviously, he ends up going far, far below that. So again, right. I think that's another reason the case study is so interesting, is because a lot of those big boards have been getting pretty good over the years, and you see a team like the Chiefs this year even have one of the best draft classes amongst a lot of those consensus big board rankings, finding value later on. That's another reason that Jalen Royals in the 4th round feels pretty good to me.
When you look at the Cam Ward situation, do you like Cam Ward in the NFL, or do you think that there's still a lot more to be discovered of what he can do in this league?
I think I completely understand why the Titans said, we're going to stay right here and we're going to take the quarterback. And frankly, this could have been an argument I would have considered making for Shedeur, not at 1 or even really probably in the 1st round. But again, if the Steelers would have taken him late in the 1st, I wouldn't have batted an eye. Nobody would have.
Yeah, go ahead.
When you don't have the plan or even a reasonable space holder at quarterback, it's very hard to pull the rest of the team into shape around you. And I don't want them to have Cam Ward have to do what Patrick Mahomes did for the Chiefs last year, right? Because I don't think any rookie's ever in a position to do that. That's almost impossible. But I think the Titans see the vision for him as a playmaker, kind of the culture setter and all of those things, where you do have this fresh administration coming in. I understand. I think it's worth the 1st overall pick to have the quarterback, your pick of the class, and a guy that does really have a skill set that you can see the future for. Shedeur doesn't have those physical tools that I would have bought into, even if you buy into him as a leader or whatever. I get it for Cam Ward. I like the story even. Maybe that's what GMs buy into sometimes and shouldn't, but I get it. This guy clawing his way stop to stop, and now he's here at this level at the very peak of the NFL draft. I'm not like in love with Cam Ward. I don't think I wouldn't bet on him being a top 10 quarterback, but I understand why the Titans do it. 'Cause otherwise, you're selling a fan base on, hey, let's give Will Levis one more year while we try to figure things out. I think you want to be building with the future in mind, and there's also no guarantee you're going to have a shot at a better prospect next year.
Well, and the thing is, too, though, it's a good situation, but a bad situation, because now the clock immediately starts ticking on Borgonzi down there in Nashville, and they ran Carthon out of the building there in 2 years down in Tennessee. So, I mean, it's not like they're exactly, willing to be patient. So he just started his clock down there.
No, that's true, and it seems like a lot of that has been ownership, and I'm hoping, I can't remember how long Borgonzi's deal was for, if that got publicly reported or not, but I was thinking that there was a little bit of job security for him because it has been kind of a sketchy footing with ownership and that revolving door there. But you're right. I mean, the clock starts now, but I think you'd rather have the clock start with it's not a great quarterback draft class. We all saw that. But I think you'd rather start the clock with your choice of the quarterbacks in this year's class rather than kind of start your clock now and then next year, what if the Titans screw around and win 6 games? And now you're picking 4, 5, 6, 7 somewhere in there and trying to figure out how you find your quarterback. So it is absolutely a imperfect situation, and this is not an Andrew Luck type of prospect at one, but I understand how Borgonzi got to the point where we love this quarterback enough to get married, at least for right now. It's not a marriage, it's a rookie contract, so I think 4 or 5 years probably a reasonable bet for them to make.
Last one, because we're going to talk about on the other side of this interview, 100 men or one silverback gorilla, who wins?
Yeah, I mean, I've seen all these graphics about how like 4% of American men think they could beat up a gorilla one-on-one. That's insane. I think 100 would have a chance, but I would not want to be among those 100. So I may go ahead and take humanity, but it would be from the other side of the glass and watching through fingers through my eyes.
No doubt about it. Briscoe, we appreciate the time. Enjoy the schedule release on May 14th, and then the real season begins.
That's what I'm looking forward to. And I think I said with my fingers through my eyes, which is what would happen if I was fighting a gorilla.
No doubt about it. Well, we appreciate the time, Briscoe. Thank you so much.
Thanks, guys.
That is Josh Briscoe there joining us here on Fescoe and Dusty. Yeah, I mean, I'm excited for this team to start things up. I mean, you mentioned the Royals guy. I think that's the guy that everybody's – is it because of what this team could be with explosiveness? Is that why he's attractive? Or is it because of the name?
It's the name.
Okay. I was wondering.
No, it's 100% the name. Yeah.
Royals.
Yeah, of course.
4.40. But he could wear 85 if we can get that one guy.
What's his name? Rahifio?
Fersker. However you say it. And then Robert Tonyan.
Felter Bubic is the matchup tomorrow night. No, Royals will be in action. We'll get back into that. Plus, the question we asked Briscoe, 100 men, one silverback gorilla. There's only one answer in this entire conversation. We'll get to it on the other side on 96.5 The Fan, your home for Kansas City Sports.
You're listening to Fescoe and Dusty.
What the hell's wrong with your station?
On Kansas City's FM sports station, 96.5 The Fan.
Ring the bell. We've done it again. Golden Oak Lending has lowered rates to 4.875% fixed. While other lenders are talking about high interest rates, we're dropping rates. And we can get it done for you in as little as 14 days. Golden Oak Lending has just secured several $1 million that we can offer you as fixed-rate mortgages for 4.875%. Lower your monthly payment, get cash out, pay off credit cards, and best of all, make no mortgage payments for 2 months. It's fast and easy. Our debt consolidation customers save an average of $1,104 every month. And at Golden Oak, you never pay for your appraisal up front. Lock in this incredible 4.875% rate now before it's too late and say goodbye to those high-interest credit card rates. Call 913-890-GOLD.
Golden Oak Lending cured my blues.
5.81 APR, FHA, 15-year, 20% equity, qualified credit. Additional terms apply. NMLS 114937.
Catchy tune, right? But don't let the urge to sing along distract you from the truck drifting towards your lane or that lane-splitting biker creeping up beside you. Fortunately, every Hyundai offers advanced safety features that can alert you to potential dangers around you. And Hyundai has over 130 IIHS Top Safety Awards since 2006. Because Hyundai is always working to ensure the road doesn't... IIHS Top Safety Awards include Top Safety Pick and Top Safety Pick Plus awards to Hyundai vehicles from 2006 to 2025.
Why'd I go to the doctor? One day at the firehouse, I was so lightheaded I could barely stand. Even my crew noticed. Getting checked out was the right call. Turns out I have atrial fibrillation, which increases the risk of stroke about 5 times.
Symptoms like irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness can come and go. But if it's AFib, the risk of stroke remains. If you have symptoms, contact a doctor.
I'm so glad I did.
Visit notimetowait.com, sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
I'm Brian Tedesco, CEO of Blaupunkt Americas, the pioneers of the car stereo. Today, we're not just about sound systems. We are revolutionizing the e-bike scene with Blue Dot Bike. Thanks to AmericanEagle.com, our online presence now features a dynamic e-commerce website that showcases the quality and affordability of our foldable e-bikes. And our collegiate e-bikes, just perfect for the college fanatic. These e-bikes offer a new way to experience freedom on 2 wheels, no matter your age. When we needed a top-notch website to match our cutting-edge e-bikes, we turned to AmericanEagle.com. They made the impossible seem easy, tackling digital challenges like pros. Check out the Blue Dot Bike website to see AmericanEagle.com's amazing work in action. Need the best in website and digital marketing solutions? AmericanEagle.com is your go-to. They've been a game changer for us, and they can be for you too. Visit AmericanEagle.com or call 877-WEB-NOW-1. That's 877-WEB-NOW-1.
This is a story of the one. As a maintenance specialist for university housing, he knows college students can major in wear and tear. Plus, housing so many students doesn't leave a lot of room to house all the supplies he needs. That's where Grainger comes in. With over 1 million industrial-grade products and fast, dependable delivery, Grainger carries the quality products he needs so he doesn't have to. From a new door hinge to a whole new faucet. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
At Napa, we've spent the last 100 years building our business into an engine that powers yours. Whether you're big or small, national or local, Napa has the automotive solutions your business needs to stay moving. And it's all driven by a nationwide network of quality parts and exceptional service on one mission: to keep your business moving full speed ahead. That's why we are the pros that know.
Need to sell your house in Kansas City but not sure what the best option is? Selling a home, especially when dealing with foreclosure, divorce, job relocation, or an inherited property, can feel overwhelming. That's why I don't just make offers. I help homeowners understand all their options so they can make the right choice with no pressure and no obligation. I'm Rex, a local homebuyer and resident right here in Kansas City. Whether you're looking for a fast cash sale or just want to explore your choices, I'll walk you through the pros and cons of selling to me or listing with an agent. If selling directly is your best move, I'll offer you a fair cash price and a closing timeline that fits your needs in as little as 7 days or on your schedule. No repairs, no commissions, no hidden fees. Just a transparent, hassle-free process so you know exactly what to expect. Let's talk. Call 816-330-6000 or visit rexbuyskc.com for a free, no-pressure consultation. Rex Buys KC, helping homeowners make informed decisions with confidence.
Show up with somebody who had too much time in the garage. It was not me, Bob, or Mac. I can promise you that. For those of you that have been all over your Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, whatever it may be, have seen the trending topic going around: 100 men or a silverback gorilla?
It's not even a conversation.
That's what I'm with you.
I mean,
I'm with you.
And it was also unarmed men.
Yeah.
No
because
weapons.
it makes a big difference. You give somebody a gun, that's a different conversation, or a rifle, or a bow and arrow, whatever, any sort of weapon. 100 unarmed men would get destroyed by the silverback gorilla. And there's no, I don't know who thinks 100 men could attack and beat this gorilla or any gorilla.
So I feel we're going to get theories. So from the text line, from the 815, 100 men would outsmart and overwhelm the gorilla. The gorilla is still vulnerable to the nut check from behind. Sure, it might take out 20 to 30 of the men before it's down and out, but in the end, the men take the W.
No.
I don't think so.
No, they're not going to nut check a gorilla. They'll stomp on you.
Plus, do we know that hurts the gorilla the same way it hurts us?
It probably doesn't feel good. get him stunned for a minute.
Or you do that, and then you just piss him off even more, and he goes out there and just rips people's heads off.
Because I've watched like 4 simulators on this of like what would happen. And like
simulations are funny.
Every single one of them seems to start off with like everybody crowding the gorilla, and then the gorilla just going full like Donkey Kong, Smash Bros, crushing like 10 men in seconds, which means the odds of the gorilla significantly go higher for every single male that is going out or whoever's fighting in this thing, the 100 people, whatever it is. So as soon as you're down to like 80, you're screwed. And how many of these guys that say that, oh yeah, you have to sign up, you have to go all out? How many, as soon as they get up there and they see that thing standing there like, F this, like start running away.
For sure. I guess I'm picturing these 100 guys are in it with me. Like we've got a plan. I don't know. I've thought about it. If you spread it out 50 and 50, get them distracted. I don't know where we're at, what the terrain looks like. But if there's a place where I can get 50 of us we're distracting the gorilla. Other 50 are on a cliff, some sort of 10 feet above, 5 feet
good luck
above.
Getting 50
jump
people
on
to
him.
even consider doing this, let alone
Well,
100.
We can
that's
barely
the
get 10
hypothetical. What are we
people.
talking about?
I know,
Of course, yeah. What are we doing? Yeah, but 180-pound average of 100 men, 18,000 pounds versus what is a gorilla? 600?
Sure.
18,000 pounds versus 600 pounds? There's a chance.
No, there's not.
There's a chance. Also, I think
really
we're
isn't.
underestimating how many 100 is.
We're also
Start counting to 100. You'll see.
It's a lot. I understand that, but you're also talking about a gorilla who doesn't have the ability to understand like fear, maybe, and like humans will look at that and go, "I'm out of here, man." So you're losing 30% of your guys right away.
Again, I think that ruins the hypothetical. Of course.
Yeah,
yes.
but the question is who's going to win. So you have to walk through. I mean, hypothetically speaking, the gorilla wins and the conversation's over. So that we could have that part of the conversation, or we can talk about ways that you choose. So do we want to do a hypothetical, or do we want to actually have the conversation about it? Because hypothetical, 100 people versus one gorilla, the gorilla wins, the conversation's over. Now, if you say you're going to get 100 people in there, I'm saying you're going to lose 30% that don't have the balls, which would be me. I'm out. So now you're down to 70 guys. How many of those 70 guys are going to look at that and go, yeah, this is the right idea. We're going in here against this gorilla.
From the 816, Rob Maloney could do it after a couple of Surfside beverages.
Yeah. I like how he texts the show in third person, too.
He is a gorilla, absolutely.
Yeah, there's no chance.
No, there isn't. Like, even if you get the strongest people on Earth, these animals are, I mean, especially the silverback gorilla, they are some of the strongest animals on Earth. They will destroy you whack-a-mole style. They will step on you. They will pound you on top of the head. They will, one sweep of the arm will knock 20 guys out.
And that's the thing is that somebody brings up, it's 100 average men. So, like, Alex said the same thing. This isn't 100 Myles Garrett's, which still doesn't have a chance.
It still doesn't have a chance.
In my opinion.
Really? 100 Myles Garrett.
No.
Sorry. I mean, that dude's wiping out 15 Myles Garrett's in 60 seconds. Then you're down to 75.
There you go.
I mean, that guy falls on top of you, steps on top of you, grabs you. I mean, he could probably grab 5, 6, 7 humans in each hand at once.
No.
Squeeze them to death and throw them aside.
A silverback gorilla is a top gorilla breed, apex animal.
4 times stronger than a man is what some texter says.
How much?
4 to 5 times stronger than a man. 50 men would be plenty.
From the 785, I heard Doug Gottlieb could teach 100 men how to beat a gorilla.
He could, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then from the 816, shame on people hypothetically thinking about killing an animal. Stupid.
Okay, nobody's thinking. I mean, come on. Jesus. I mean, God, people like that just ruin the day.
Those are the best garage conversations, though.
Yeah, I mean, that's where
Lion
this whole thing
versus
started
tiger. Yeah, like that sort of stuff.
My God, lighten up.
What do they got in there? King Kong?
Yeah, this isn't King Kong, Bob. That's what 660 says. That's what I'm thinking. 6 to 7 people in each hand. What are we doing?
He could be King Dong, man. It's still taking everybody out,
It
dude.
is. I mean, when have you ever seen a human being stand? Like, if an alligator walks onto the golf course, every guy is running.
Mm-hmm.
You think that's not going to be the case when this gorilla gets let loose on 100? Like, how many people are going to be killed? How many people are going to run? You're down to 2 dudes by the time it's all said and done, and they're getting eaten for dinner.
From the 816, Binkley could line up and pancake the gorilla, but he probably wouldn't believe in Josh Simmons to do it. There's just no way. Because, like, the thing is, you're not armed. You're not. You're going in there just
tools.
bare knuckles, man. Like, I'm going to punch this guy in the kneecap. Watch what happens. You're dead.
You're just not beating a gorilla.
Yeah.
It's not happening.
When do they tire is my thing. Like,
They don't.
I was
See,
saying,
yeah.
I
Guy
mean,
will swing all day on you. And how are you taking a gorilla down? Like you and 17 guys, or what are you doing once you get the gorilla to
Like
the
I said,
ground?
I'm distracting him, and then I'm getting other guys behind him. We're jumping on him.
What's your tactic on distracting?
The fastest 50. Let's go. We're running. We are running, and we're getting to our spot. We've got X marks the spot. Get him there. Jump, rest of you 50. Let's go.
Yeah, I need you all here.
Yeah, 50 guys in the back of a gorilla is going to really do it. Right?
I might go to war for Mac.
I'm the Andy Reid of this operation. Let's go.
Yeah, Andy Reid's even like, yeah, we're out on this one.
Yeah, I don't think that. I even think Andy Reid would even say he's looking forward to the challenge.
No, he would not. No.
I need that girth.
Yeah, look here. Minshew's going to play today.
Yeah, Chris Jones taking the day off.
Yeah, the starters
Travis just retired. I don't know.
If this was an exhibition game, Andy Reid would not say the players are going to play the starters will play the first half.
They're not playing at all in this one.
100 UFC fighters? Does that narrow the gap for you at all?
No.
Really?
No, dude.
Because their hands are weapons. We don't know how to use our hands.
And they're also like deranged, and
they're
that's,
fighting.
They're fighting for a living, and bloody knuckles for a living. So there is a little bit of that. Like, there's not the fear factor, I don't think, in the UFC guys, but still, at the end of the day, we're talking about an animal versus humans.
You also realize that he can take the upper half of your body and the lower half of your body and just pull it apart.
And then while that's happening, the other 50 guys.
Get up!
Exactly.
Yeah, get him.
Richard sacrificed himself. This is our moment. I was going for a shot, too. See ya. We're done, dude. 100 guys from 2025, no chance. 100 guys from the 1930s, maybe. Well, let me tell you, this gorilla, see? You got to take your cigar, burn him right on the toe. They don't like being burnt on the toe, these gorillas, see?
No weapons.
Yeah, no weapons, man. Mac's going to use the McGruber distraction. You've seen that movie, haven't you?
Bingo, of course.
Yeah, the celery between the cheeks.
Yes.
That'll work.
Why are you eating it? Rest in peace to Val Kilmer, who was in that movie as well, the bad guy. Yeah. So how many men do you think it would take? 200? Would you be safer with two? Would you think 200 could do it?
No, give me just weapons.
I think 200's a lot of people, man.
But how do you win? Like, I don't think the gorilla ever gives up, quits, stops.
Somebody says, I would seduce him.
Yeah, we don't have, yeah.
And then somebody says, sand in the eye, kick in the nuts. Do you know how high his eyes are? You got to make sure.
Sand in the eye, that's good.
But how do you know you're on sand?
No, it's true. We don't know the terrain, Texter.
All right. Your job tonight, fellas, is after your Tuesday session, you go to the garage and think of your next hypothetical. Could 100 defensive backs stop Patrick Mahomes from getting into the end zone?
No.
Yeah.
They've tried.
It's true.
Yeah. 100 prime Randy Ortons. Yeah, well, you can't RKO the gorilla out of nowhere because he just knows where you're at all times. So, yeah, somebody says keep going for the eyes.
What do you, it all sounds good on the surface, but then you have to do it. Yeah, go for the eyes. Okay, how are you getting to them?
You know, I'm sure there were some boxers out in the day, not named Buster Douglas or, Holyfield. They were like, man, this Tyson guy, he's got a weak right. I bet I could get in there. 10 seconds, game's over, dude. Like, sorry. Yeah, you thought you were tough until you got punched in the effing mouth.
Yeah.
Yeah, you thought 100 guys were great until you saw 10 completely get wiped from the earth in one fell swoop.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. 10 dudes get wiped out. 30 others are like, peace, man. I ain't dealing with that. I got my wife to go home to.
We don't have a chance.
Running. No chance.
That's the end of our show on a Tuesday. Go do something nice for somebody today. You never know. It could change their day, their week, their month, their year. It's simply cool to care. Kansas City, stay safe, stay dry, stay kind. Cody, Golden, Drew, coming up next from 10 to 2.
What's up, Kansas City? This is Jonathan India here, and you're listening to Fescoe and Dusty on your home for Royals baseball. 96.5 The Fan.
This is